The assumption that the best protein comes from corpses is a racist belief, as it erases and replaces indigenous African, Asian, Mesoamerican cultural food practices. Meat eating is also one of the ways gender-based structures of oppression are perpetuated. Men in the West are taunted to renew their man card by eating meat because that's what real men do. That's the sexual politics of meat, and it reveals how unsettled masculinity really is.
What? What?
That's enough internet for me today. I am going to wash myself with holy water.
Oh man, we are live. It is a Thursday night reality show. Just so everybody knows, that little clip is compliments of Sir Yeetus. Just that last clip. He's got some great shorts. That's a couple of parts of his shorts, but check out Sir Yeetus. I want to welcome Paul Caldwell to the reality check tonight. Paul, how you doing?
Good, my friend. How's it going?
It's going great, man. Tonight is a reality check, and it's going to be a good one. I also want to welcome everybody from 21 Studios tonight. I want to thank Anthony Johnson for letting us hijack 21 Studios again tonight for a Thursday night reality check. Yeah, we're going to have a good one tonight. Also, if you're interested in going to 21 Convention or the Patriarch Convention, I've got some links in the description of this video. Click on the link or go to 21studios.com. I have a code, which is Tony150. That's Tony150, and you get $150 off your ticket. So let's do this. Paul, welcome.
Thank you, my man. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm excited that you're here tonight. Always awesome having you on.
It's always a pleasure to be here. It's I don't know how to do the lives myself, so it's always fun jumping on with you guys who do. Shit stresses me out, man.
Yeah, well, I'm used to it. So, and if anybody watching from 21 Studios doesn't know me, I'm Tony Bruno. This is my channel is Tony Bruno T21 Surfer. I just do this for fun and to have some interesting conversations with some interesting people. And tonight we got a banger of a guest, man. So we have Paul from the War Room. Paul, why don't you tell everybody real quick, for people that don't know you, what you do on YouTube?
Oh man, that's a hard one. In a nutshell, I try to tell the truth. I try to tell the truth as best as I can to help dudes navigate this shit that we have to go through. Because this space, when I came into this space, I needed help, and there wasn't a lot of that. There was a bunch of dudes whining and crying, and the fucked up part about it is it's what I wanted to hear, but it wasn't what I needed to hear. Mm-hmm. So once I realized that these dudes were full of shit, it made me realize that there was a need for men to not try to make themselves look like, heroes and shit, but simply tell the truth and help dudes realize that most of us are just humans and we go through shit. But more than anything is to tell men the truth and let them see most of what you're dealing with is your own problem. And so you can fix it. You don't need anyone's help, no one's permission. You can do it. And so I try to do that without charging them $25 per second to talk to me and shit like that. I just try to keep it real, man.
That's funny. $25 a second. Yeah. That's a little exaggeration, but I know a lot of guys are getting some big bucks out there just to talk with people. So you know what? That's going to bring me to my first question. I want to talk about mentors and fathers. Do you think somebody that doesn't have a father should have a mentor like yourself? Because I think I don't want to say it takes the place of a father. I don't think a mentor can, like my dad did, grab you by the scruff of the neck and slap you in the back of the head to straighten you out. So what is the difference between a mentor and a father?
Man, actually, Tony, I think even men with a father, sometimes they need mentors. Mm-hmm. Because what I've noticed is just having a father doesn't make everything okay. Your dad's got to be a man. He's got to teach you how to be a man. And so if you grow up with a dude that's either absent or he's a bitch, you don't have a man showing you how to be a man. And eventually a coach, a teacher, some dude at the MMA gym, someone will end up being that man that you need. And that's what a mentor is. The guy who grows up with a dad who's a wiener, it's just a pussy, that dude doesn't respect his father. He might love him, but he doesn't respect him as a man because he's not a man. And if he sees real men, he sees that his dad's not that. And so even when a man's got a father, that doesn't mean that he's got a leader in his house. And so I would say it's important for anyone. I've got mentors, man, and they're not even shit. I don't know that they might not even be older than me, but they're men that I look to and I respect them. And so the things that they say, I respect and I listen to it. Somebody that I don't have any respect for, they could be telling me the truth. I'm not going to listen to shit that they say. But I think in this day and age, it's especially now, I think it's very critical for young men to have a mentor. I mean, you can call it whatever you want to, a coach, but somebody that can put their elbow in your back and say, "Hey, bitch, you're being something less than what you want to be." And you don't get bent out of shape about it. You understand this dude's telling me this because it's true. And I think a lot of young men need that now more than any time that I've ever remembered, because they don't get that anywhere. They can't get it from, even coaches can't do it anymore. And so I think the answer would be across the board, yes. Not just young men, but any man that's looking for answers that he doesn't have. You know what I mean? Like you gotta.
I mean, right now it seems like, I would say that, from the time I grew up, probably the time you grew up too, that there are more weak fathers now than there ever has been. So
Man,
that's really what you're talking about.
Yes, I'm not sure. I don't think that we can point to any one thing. A lot of what I've noticed in this new super stupid ass woke, smart dumbass culture. There's nothing worse than a stupid smart person. And these dummies, they like to point at things and put a umbrella on things and go, this is that because this is this way because of that. It's like, no, dude, you're 22 years old. You haven't got life figured out. This shit has been a tiptoe, and there's so many different factors that make men weak. The testosterone levels in 20-year-old boys now is lower than the 60-year-old or 70-year-old men from the World War II generation. So what is that? That's not feminism's fault. That's not, you know what I mean? That's something that's taken place in our culture that's insidious as shit. You know what I mean? Like I saw a picture, this shit kind of blew me away. It was a picture of a group of high school students that graduated in the 80s, and then a group of high school students that graduated in the 50s. And it was a group of high school students that graduated in 2021. And the difference in the boys in that picture was fucking staggering. Because when I graduated in the 80s, in the 50s, those young boys that were graduating were men. These dudes that from the 2022, these were little bitches, man. These dudes were NSYNC, Backstreet Boy, feminized males. And it wasn't just because they got gay haircuts and gay clothes and all that shit. These boys look like they hadn't hit puberty yet. That's a problem. So there's so many different factors that make men weak. And I don't know that it's straight cultural. I think a lot of it comes to our diet. They're not active anymore. And then along the way, feminism did kick in and told dudes, hey, talk more, be more feminine, or get in touch with your feminine side. And dudes took that and became bitches. They're like, oh, you want to see my feminine side? Well, here you go. And they became straight bitches. And now dudes are afraid of their wives. I hope this dude's not watching. I'm not going to say his name, but I'm going to say this, and he's going to know I'm talking about him. This dude started training with us. He's my age. He started training with me and the men in the morning. And it's hard, man. We get up and go at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you're up at least 4:30. And that shit's hard. Well, he didn't show up this week, and I hit him up, and he's got, he's not coming in to train with us now because his wife decided to train, and he's going with her. And I'm like, dude, that's some weak ass shit. Like, that's fucking weak. You're too scared to tell your old lady that you're gonna go. I mean, he said he volunteered for it. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? If you start working out, I'll be there. Yeah, go with her, but you got to come train with the men as well. And I don't know if it's he wanted some cuddle time to extend in the morning or what, but his woman made him stop coming and working out with the men. He ain't gonna say that, but dude, that's what happened. You didn't show up, and you're there working out with your woman. You're not you're not training. You're fucking working out.
Mm-hmm.
You're lifting weights, probably doing chest and curls, and it's because he doesn't want to tell her no, or he's too insecure for her to go to the gym by herself or something. But he broke the man code. This is our suffering. We get up in the morning. This is shit that we do, and and he's not a weak dude, but that's some weak shit, and that is common. It's very common.
Why do you think? What makes a guy weak in that position? Is it just because he doesn't want to hurt his wife's feelings, or is he afraid of it?
I think he's I don't know. I think there might be a mixture of that. I think I think he does it because he's let her get away with it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when a man bends himself backwards to try to get the woman to like him, you end up doing a lot of shit you don't do. And they're married, so I'm sure, he's just whipped like that because he's not a coward. He's a solid dude, but he's a typical modern dude. The woman runs the shit. He goes out, he gets the money, but she runs the show. If she decides that she doesn't want him doing something, he's going to come up with a reason why he won't do it. And I don't know if they're afraid of the women or if they don't want to hurt their feelings or what it is. But I always laugh at guys like that. My situation, I do whatever I feel like doing. If I want to go do something,
in reality, wouldn't you say she would respect you more in the end?
I think you know what? This might sound like some Andrew Tate shit, but I think they do. I think when a woman knows that you just look at her and say, I don't give a shit about you getting mad. I'm going to go do this. She's going to throw a fucking tantrum until she knows you can no longer hear her. And just like a petulant child, she's going to get over it. And then, either she'll move on or she'll start texting you, and you can ignore that too. But when that element of, let's just call it what it is, fear of loss, when you can just walk away and go, hey man, I'm going to do this, and you're going to get over it or you're not. That makes you a stronger man, I think. Mm-hmm. Because if a woman tells you, I don't want you to do this, and then you don't do it, I think after she's done that to you over and over again, there's a lack of respect. I think she looks at you and go, God damn, I wish for once you'd stand up and tell me, no, bitch, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, don't call me bitch all the time, but right now I wish you would say that. It has to be that way. If you were ever that way before, if you were ever a man before, and then you stop being one, I think the woman misses that man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She has to. I mean, that's who she fell in love with. So there's a weird dance that it's a dance that goes on. You got to give. You have to. You can't go, look, you're my woman. You stay in the cave. I'm gonna go out here and fight dinosaurs. You have to bend a little bit, but you can't let them bully you. You know what I mean?
That balance too is what a man needs. I think you need to go and train. You need that.
You'd have to.
And the separation of a relationship too. And trust me, I'm no relationship expert, but I see the best relationships work that when people, they do their own thing, what's good for them, and then they come together. To me, that's a healthy relationship.
Well, that's what it's supposed to. My sister's probably, she's the last person on this planet that I would take advice from on anything. But every now and then, man, sometimes crazy people say shit that makes sense. And when I was 23, I was a puppy still. And I was dealing with this crazy psychotic slut. And this girl was just doing what sluts do. And my sister, my sister hated this girl, but she tolerated her because I liked her. And one day, man, this girl did one of her little slut moves, and I was pissed. This was back in our Ronald Reagan era days, man. So we were different people. We were doing different shit. There's a lot of violence that was normal. And I was about to go hunting. And my sister came out to the car and she told me, she said, look, man, I know you're going to do what you're going to do, but I'm going to tell you this. Fuck that bitch. She ain't worth shit. You need to learn this. And this was, it was so profound. It made me laugh that my retarded sister who loved abusive relationships told me this. She said, a woman should add to your life, not define it, Paul. And then walked away from me like my grandma. And I was like, who the fuck are you? Who are you to talk to me like that? Like you're in a dysfunctional relationship every week. But it made sense because this relationship was so toxic and poisonous on both of our ends. We wanted to own one another. And it was sick, dude. It was very sick. But when she told me that, I was like, that's good stuff. These guys that come into this space hurt and broken and end up Donovan Sharp fans and listening to Rolo and them, they don't understand that, this breaking, this relationship that tore you apart, you actually got a favor done to you. You just don't understand it yet. That broken, dysfunctional person that destroyed you was trying to teach you a lesson. And the crazy part about these guys is if they don't man up and become solid dudes to realize, you know what, I picked that girl and I picked her for a reason, and start trying to figure that out, it's going to happen again and again because they're there. It's not her fault. You allowed that shit to happen. You might have invited it. And so those relationships that the person defines your shit, they never work. They're always poison. But when that person adds an element of whatever it is you need to your life, I think that's beautiful. I think that's when they do work because you're not depending on that person to do anything but be what they are to you. They're not. One of my buddies is coming to the realization that he looks at his wife for validation that he should be giving himself. There's a lot of dudes who have that problem in all their dating relationships because they're looking at that woman as an addiction. You don't love her. You don't love heroin. You love the way heroin makes you feel until it makes you feel sick. It's the same shit. It's the same thing with these relationships where I got to be with her all the time. I got to be with him all the time. No, that's an addiction. That's not love. That's not a cool relationship. That's a fucking addiction. I
like the way you said that. Like heroin feels good until it makes you sick.
Yeah,
that's
feel great. Then you're throwing up.
Yeah. You want it, you get it, you finally get it, and then you get enough, and then you get sick. It's like a reverse moment, is what it is.
Yeah,
you got what you wanted, so now what do you do, kind of thing. So, but anyways, let's talk about a positive marriage. In fact, Elliot Hulse was going to be on tonight, but just he couldn't make it because he is renewing his vows. Congratulations, Elliot! It's his 20th anniversary.
Congrats, Elliot.
So, but I spoke with him, and he does want to come on and talk with me and you sometime soon. So we'll be expecting that, and I'm sure it'll be a good time. Elliot's awesome. But you also did a video here. In fact, I want to talk about a few videos that you did. You did one with Elliot about Elliot Hulse and the whole Vice News situation that kind of attacked him. Well, not kind of, straight up attacked him. I believe called him a school shooter and some other stuff.
Well, they basically said that he inspired those fucking cowards who did that stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about that and why did you make a video about that and why did you respond to that specifically?
Well, I hate bullies. Like I fucking hate bullies with a passion. And when I first saw that video, I've watched his content for shit, man. It's been a while because before I moved out here to the Boondocks, I had a gym in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I used to be a professional BMX racer as well. And so I trained people from all over the world, and the internet was fascinating. Joe DeFranco, Elliot Hulse. There was a lot of dudes who were putting out content, you know, about strength training, and I was trying to absorb all of the information that I possibly could. And Elliot's delivery was always awesome. I thought he was kind of funny, and I was introduced to him because somebody told me that he looked like he was my brother. And so I thought it was just the way Elliot's presence is. It's funny to me. You know, he's a character. He's a funny dude, but he's knowledgeable about what he talks about. But over the years, it's been over a decade, and the guy has always been positive. Elliot's message has always been positive, even when he's talking about aggression and being assertive and all that. He's still being positive. And so, you know, I'm not a fan of anyone, but I look at the dude, and I mean, he's a man. I don't see anything wrong with anything that he's ever, anything that I've ever heard. Some of his shit got weird for a while when he was talking about breathing through his nuts and shit. And I get that. I get all of that. But that was weird when you come to a channel and you want to see a dude talk about building biceps and stronger legs, talk about breathing through your nuts and beating, you know, throwing a tantrum on. That shit got weird. But I get it. Like when I was in the penitentiary, I went on a spiritual journey where I was meditating, and I had fellas going, "Say, nigga, you all right?" So I get it. But I wasn't on the same journey. So a couple years went by, but he wasn't saying anything negative then. He was trying to help people as he was helping himself. And so when I saw the Vice thing, it was weird because I saw it. It popped up because Vice used to not suck. Back a couple of years ago, Vice wasn't horrible. Well, a lot of shit didn't suck, but it's got woke now. But absolutely. I saw the video, but I didn't watch it because I don't care about incels. I don't give a shit about that. I mean, I think that's a goofy term. It's a goofy mindset. Everybody's an incel till they're not. You know what I mean? Every dude wants to fuck. Every guy on a dry spell is an incel. You know what I mean? So this, again, throwing umbrellas and calling people stuff, I think that's goofy. So I didn't have any interest in watching that. But then I saw a video or something where Elliot made mention about it, and so I went and watched the video. I didn't watch his video. I watched the video. You know, I watched something. I don't know if he wrote a post or what, but he said that, you know, Vice was fucking with him. Yep. And so I went to the Vice videos and I went and scoured because I couldn't find the one that he said it was. I found it and I watched it, and it fucking pissed me off, dude. Not because, you know, of an allegiance to Elliot, but because from what I've seen of that dude, there's not one harmful meaning bone in that dude's body. You know what I mean? Like Elliot's not a bad person, and he doesn't encourage young men or boys to be bad people. And I stand by that. I don't know him, never talked to him, but I don't have to. Motherfucker has been consistent for a decade. You cannot stay faking being a person like that. And I watched this shit, and it made me angry, not so much that they threw Elliot in there, but that they missed so many of these cocksuckers that are really the problem. Rolo should have been in there. Donovan Sharp should have been there. MD, that little child molest. All of those fucking dudes should have been exposed that as these are your Elliot Roger or whatever that dude's name. These are the dudes who create guys like that. These guys who tell you got to be 6 foot and have a Lambo and have all this bullshit. These guys are what's causing these kids to go bad because they're fucking lying. That's not. These are all like a woman will never be with a man that she makes more money than. Fucking lie. Now, does she want to? Probably not. But that is a fucking lie. And they got these kids on that end of the spectrum. They got these kids doomers, and on the other end of the spectrum, they got these chumps working at Sonic, thinking that their sexual market value is higher than some 40-year-old woman that's in shape and had a good job. It's like these are the guys that are fucking these guys up, not Elliot Hulse. And so it was just a reaction, man. It wasn't even really thought out. I just wanted to say something to somebody and I wanted to throw any extra weight, because Elliot's voice is his reach is way bigger than mine. But there's a chance that there's some people that watch my stuff that have never heard of him. And so I was like, shit, if you haven't heard of him, you heard of him now, go help him. You know what I mean? Like, the dude, go whatever support you can, send Vice a fuck you suck email, whatever. Help him, because this is bullshit. And that was the motivation. It was just I think we've gotten into our culture. We sit back and pull our phones out and we record people going through fucked up shit instead of putting our phones down and getting in somebody's ass and helping that person that's going through that shit. And I think that's wrong. I think as men, especially when you see another man going through a struggle, and especially one that he doesn't deserve, yeah, it's not your business, but it kind of is. Mm-hmm. Because if you're in that same position, how are you going to feel if they feel the same way? How are you going to feel if they look at you and go, hey, my fucking problem? You know what I mean? Like, if anything ever happens to me, I wouldn't expect, but I would hope that I wouldn't even have to turn around and check my six. You know what I mean? Like, if something happened to me, I would hope that all I need to do is keep my eyes going forward, because I hope the men that have my six have my fucking six. You know what I mean? And even the ones that I don't, I hope that they would, just off principle. You know what I mean? And I can't hope for that if I'm not willing to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've got railed a few times here too, because when I spoke to some younger guys and said, one of my comments was that, hey, I lived a little, you do too. You need to live a little before. And it's like, oh no, but it was kind of the know-it-all attitude. Because I'm 23, 24 years old, or in my early 30s, I know it all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in my late 50s now, and I've been through a lot of stuff. So I do my best to relay that, because I look at all men as my peer. It doesn't matter what age they are. Okay. I don't just look at guys in their 50s as my peer. All men are my peer. And I think a lot of us need to understand that. But you also have to look at, maybe some older guys do have a little bit of wisdom. They lived a little. You've lived a little. I've lived a little. I've been through, if I'm twice as old as you, I've been through twice as much as you.
Yes, at least. And probably even more than that, because kids don't get to go through shit no more, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we've gone through, that's the thing, that message, that thing that you just said is that one of the things that I try to hit home in my videos frequently. You young guys, it would serve you well to shut your mouth and listen when an old dog barks. Only a fool doesn't pay attention when an old dog barks, man. That's an old Viking proverb, I think, but it's true. It's true. When an old dog barks, there's usually a reason. That dog's been through so much shit. He knows not to bark because there's a cat. He knows that he already knows everything you don't want him barking for. So when he barks, you might want to grab your strap and go see what he's talking about, because he's not just barking. There's a reason. Now, if he's so old, he's senile, then he might be that. Mm-hmm. But we're not old senile dogs. And that's what the crazy thing. I've had I'll make a video, and it's crazy. I made a video about Tate, and I like Andrew Tate.
That was going to be my next question, was Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I like Tate. That's the whole thing. Like, I've had people trying to say stupid shit, and it's like, you're a fucking idiot. I made the video because I've had several people ask me if I thought that he was a good role model for young men. Fuck no, he's not. No, he's not. Those dudes don't have, young dudes in the 18 to shit, I would say even 30-year-olds. Those guys aren't mentally sharp enough to weed through what Tate says, which is just straight trolling and meant to get a reaction out of you. And when he's good at what he does, but he's so arrogant, so narcissistic, so materialistic. You don't want young boys growing up thinking that that's the way you are. Those guys, now I'm not saying this is what he is, but these guys that try to emulate that are douchebags. You think that because you got a car and all this shit that you're better than anyone, you're absolutely not. That's a fucked up mindset to put forth. But a lot of what he says, I mean, a lot. I'm lockstep with him. I agree with him 100% on probably 90% of what he says. But the way he says a lot of shit and the way that he, like that image that he's got, I think that it's not good for young dudes. For old dudes, he's entertaining as hell. I'd hang out with him. I think Tate would probably be a cool dude to hang out with.
I hung out with him for an afternoon, and he was actually.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I got nothing against the dude whatsoever. But I'm not here I'm here to critique the job that we're doing.
Mhm.
I don't know Andrew. I don't know Donovan Sharp. That's not his real name, or Rolo, or any of that. I'm talking about these fucking characters. I'm talking about these dudes that say this shit. And when I spoke about Tate, I was speaking just strictly as a role model mentor. I would not push any kid that I was trying to influence to go like, listen to this guy. Now, again, there's a lot of shit that he says that's awesome, but there's a lot of shit that's going to be harmful to a young, impressionable kid. Because if you gravitate towards him, you're going to try to act like him, and you're going to get your fucking ass whooped.
Do you
get your ass whooped bad.
Do you think you're referring to his persona versus the person?
Yes.
The difference?
Well, that's what I'm talking. What I was talking about in that video, and I tried to make it clear. I'm talking about, is he a good role model? Is he a good role model or a bad influence? If I was judging it on totality, that persona, because again, I don't know what that guy's like when there's no camera, when there's no audience, when there's no bomb to drop. He could be a completely opposite. I mean, he could be a different person. I don't know what Andrew Tate is like personally, but the persona, when he clicks that thing, when he flips the switch and starts saying stupid shit like women are worse drivers than men, that's ridiculous. Dude, women maybe can't drive because they're stupid and can't figure shit out. But I remember when I first started driving, dudes are horrible drivers. We do dumb shit. Maybe we're not horrible drivers, but we're horrible drivers. We do dangerous, dumb shit. Now, I don't want to drive with a girl because they do dumb shit that's, I mean, it's not as dangerous. You know what I mean? Like maybe drive too slow or something trivial. Maybe they don't know how to parallel park, but they're not trying to parallel park doing 60 like a boy will do.
Yeah.
So some of the shit that he says is outlandish as hell. That's a persona. Now, I don't know if he really believes that, but sometimes I'll give you an example. When he did the last one with that beta male, that guy that thinks he killed him in that thing. What's his name? The long-haired sissy guy that he was having that argument with about cars, about driving. I don't remember his name.
No. Yeah.
But this guy, it was the reason why I say that it's a persona is because this beta male dude, he ruffled Tate's feathers so bad, basically just trolling him, saying he was full of shit about the women driving, and he's quoting statistics. He was like, you're and he got him because Andrew went straight to the same my reality bullshit that so many women do, and so many men in the manosphere go, oh, women like to talk about their reality to dismiss their blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and he pulled that shit. I was like, ooh, Tate, you should have just took the L on that. You should have just said, you know what? You're right. Maybe that's a bad example. But dude, you're still a beta male pussy bitch. And he could have saved it, but he stayed in there, and then he got mad. Then he started trying to belittle the dude and saying, you probably don't get no pussy. And and it's like, oh man, this persona. I hope this isn't who you are, because this persona just broke. This little dude made you break and start saying all the things that these guys use to talk shit about the feminist movement and women who, oh, well, my reality is this. Like, oh, you did the same thing, bro. And that right there is like, when you put on an act in this area, in this space, when you pretend, you cannot sustain that. You know what I mean? Like you have to be authentic, but I don't know that that's his. I think he wants to go viral. I think he wants to do what he's done. Like that dude was more searched than Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, Tate is I believe Tate is just a wizard of a businessman. Is what
I think he is. I think he's a hell of a salesman, and I think he's a pimp. I know he's a pimp. I mean, fuck, his business model was pimping before OnlyFans. That's pimping. That's just a different level. When you think that way, you pimp everybody. That's how you do business. You know what I mean? It's pimping. And it's not, that's just the name of a job. That's a shit, you know? I used to be a street hustler. So I look at the pimping game and selling dope and all that. To me, you're hustling. You know what I mean? You're going to have to answer to that, to the government and God, if you get caught or when you die. But right now, it's what you do. He's brilliant. He's fucking brilliant, because even when he says dumb shit, he says it on a platform and in a manner that make people fall out of their chairs, man. Mm-hmm. And that's the society that we live in. And that's why, as you know, you take the influence away from the young dudes. Now, if it's 25 and up, fucking go for it. If you want to emulate Andrew Tate and you've already lived a little bit, then go ahead and try that shit. But if you're an 18-year-old trying to do that, I think you're going to get in trouble. I think you're going to get in a lot of trouble, because you can't move that way. He's not in America. He's way the fuck over there pulling that shit off. You act like Andrew Tate in America, you will go to jail so goddamn fast, or you'll end up, somebody will fuck you up. You know what I mean? Because he knows how to fight. You're going to walk around and pretend that you're a 4-time kickboxing champion because you like Andrew Tate? Mm-hmm. You start talking shit because you like Andrew Tate? I think that's a bad idea. You know what I mean? And that's what kids do. They start to look at that little kid, Sneeko, that little half-breed dude that he's a fresh and fit clone, and he likes Tate, and he tries to talk like him. It's like, dude, you talk like that you talk like that to a real man in real life, and your head's going to get detached from your fucking shoulders. You know what I mean? You aren't Andrew Tate. You're not going to hold the ground like Andrew could, but you're going to run your fucking mouth like that. That's not a good look. And that's the shit that I look at. I'm like, that's not good for kids. You know what I mean? If I was going to nudge a young man to try to, if you're going to look at another man and model yourself after him, I would point them toward Elliot, not toward Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? Andrew's everything that you dream about when you're in high school. You know what I mean? Bitches, cars, people are scared of you. That's all high school mentality. But Elliot's what you want after you've put in time. He's got kids. To me, that's the ultimate dream that a real man aspires to. What Elliot's got. Fucking ranch.
I've met both of them, obviously. And I met Andrew Tate, and I can say that when I met him, he was a gentleman. He was very hospitable. But I also watched him turn it on as soon as the camera was on. And I'm not saying it's fake by any means, but I saw Andrew Tate, the gentleman, pour me a drink, be hospitable, have a nice chat. And then when the camera went on, it was Andrew Tate on camera.
It's a job. It's like a news anchor.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's not like I spent a lot of time with him, but I did get to meet him last year. And same thing with Elliot. Now, Elliot is Elliot Hulse. I've been to his home. I've spent a lot of time with him, whether it be dinners, at another friend's house. But Elliot is Elliot, whether he's at 21 convention, he's at Sock's house, or he's at his house. He is the same guy everywhere. And he's probably the same guy you see on the internet. Absolutely. It's the same dude. And that's to me, and that's why I've always felt that Elliot was genuine. You know what I mean? Like Elliot, when I meet you, I don't expect there to be one thing that I go, man, I expected that dude to be completely different, because you're not putting on a show. You're not, I talked to you backstage on this thing. There's no, you know what I mean? You're not, all right, I'm gonna let you, hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? There's none of that bullshit. You are Tony. You're Tony backstage. You're Tony on the phone. You're Tony. Yep. And that's the way it's supposed to be, because, well, to me,
But that's the way I move. That's the way I do mine. Now, if I was an Andrew Tate type person, then I would do exactly what he's doing. You know what I mean? Because he's doing it right. He's doing it right. Even people who hate him can't stop watching him. That's what this whole YouTube shit's all about. That's what this whole social media is about. So I don't knock his hustle. I got nothing against anything that dude does other than the negative effects that he has on these kids. And I see it. Like, I see it through the shit that they say in the comments and then the ones who have their own channels. And hey, again, if that's the way that they want to go for it. But it's going to be hard for them because they're not Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? Like, that's the hardest part. That dude grew up to be the person that he portrays to be. Even that character, you're not going to just flip that on because that character's backed up by a real person. You know what I mean? The real Andrew Tate, that real dude that's behind the camera dude, he can still kick your ass just like the dude that's on camera says he can kick your ass. He's not lying. He's not putting on you got to know how to fight. He's not just saying that shit. He understands the necessity of knowing how to fight. Not because he's took classes and shit, because he's gotten in there and he's swapped their souls. That's what it's about. And so what he portrays, he's been doing this shit for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, the Tate brothers have been the Tate brothers for a long time. And so he's honed a craft. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything about the flipping on the switch when the camera comes on, but that's what I expect. Because someone that moves like him, like someone that moves in the circles and does the things that he does, they've got to have more to them than that. And that's what I would expect for him to move like a man. And then when it's time to do his job, he does his job, whether that's getting in the ring or getting in front of a camera and telling people that girls can't drive.
I mean, I've met a lot of guys in this, we'll say, in this space, in this umbrella, a lot of them obviously working with 21. And there's been a lot of guys where I've been hoodwinked. I got to be honest, where I thought after I met the person. But one thing that I have to do is, and I think as men, we have to, when you have that little feeling about somebody or something's off, at least follow up on it. Okay. You could be wrong, but 9 out of 10 times you're not.
No.
So, there's been a lot of people where I thought, all right, he's cool, but he's kind of creepy. And, after meeting somebody and spending time with them and seeing how they act in person, that's why I tell people, get out in the real world, I mean, I look forward to meeting you. This is great, but get out in the real world.
Yeah.
That's one of the beauties of 21 convention is you can actually meet these guys. It's
right.
It's a week of interaction. It's not, you can sit down and have dinner with Elliot Hulse and sit down and have lunch with Paul. I mean, that's what it's about. So that kind of opened my eyes. I mean, I've always been the kind of person where I like to get out and meet people.
Yeah.
But meeting a lot of these, I'll say, talking heads on YouTube was different for me. Okay. Because I've watched a lot of these guys. I mean, it's the content I consume now isn't that much. There's a few people here and there. And occasionally I come across somebody, just like the clip I played at the beginning with Sir Yeetus. He has a channel. I don't know if you saw his channel, but he has some of the best shorts on YouTube, I think, when it comes to men's content. His content is more about protecting a man from marriage and things like that. And it's really helpful. In fact, I hope to have him on here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, check out Sir Yeetus. That was the clip I played at the beginning.
I'll check him out.
Yeah. So, but these, when you meet somebody in person, it's so different. It really is. So I encourage guys to get out, get off the computer, go to some of these events. Or, let's say another guy has a meetup or something, but go out and meet people in real life. It's really
for sure.
And a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these guys that are on, talking heads like myself and you, I don't consider myself a content creator.
No.
I like to say I'm more of a content facilitator.
Right.
Content creator.
So you're not seeking any sort of notoriety or fame.
No, none at all.
And that's I like that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my last video. Well, I've been given my program, that book that I wrote, I just basically, I got to go back on that. I got to get my shit back together and get, I don't like being lost and not having, a focus, a very focused task. And I found myself kind of scattered out. And so in my last video that I released, I basically was told anybody who's listening, send me an email, I'll send you this PDF and let's get after it and do this work. And then that's what the whole thing is about, getting dudes in a position to where we can, I want to get, like, this whole thing that we're doing here. I have no desire to, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be infamous. I don't want to be notorious, but I want to be able to reach as many men as possible, which is that's in direct opposition of not wanting the fame. Because I don't want to be a character for someone, and I will not be that. I will never do that. I mean, I think that that's probably why our channels don't just shoot into the sphere, because if we wanted to be these characters, if we wanted to do those things, we would say the same shit these other guys are saying, probably better than they do, because we know what it is that they're saying. But I don't want that. I want a real impact. I want to, like, I just signed, I think I got about 35 guys that sent me an email that have the book in 24 hours. That's 35 dudes in 35 different locations. We're not in the same state, not in the same, one dude's from Kenya, another dude's from Japan. They're all over the fucking planet. Now, if I can get these 35 dudes and the other ones that are quietly trying to do it on their own, let's just say we got 50 guys, 50 men that get off the fucking computer and go outside and be men and start facilitating shit out in the real world. I think that's where you work, because so many people are stuck behind these computer screens, swiping on their phones and listening to people tell them that it's hopeless. And if this is where you operate, behind these screens, then it is hopeless. It is hopeless, because even if you're winning, you're still stuck in a prison of your own making. And all these dudes are like, man, where do you meet women at? Where do you go? It's like, where are you trying to go? It's all bullshit. It's all online. It's like, dude, that's not where real people are. That's where scared losers are. That you doing online dating, 2022? Are you fucking retarded as a man? You get off of that shit. Go out and do some stuff. Go out and be a real person and meet someone doing real stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of someone telling you, oh, I like to kayak and swim, and this bitch don't even like to walk around the block. She just wants a dude in shape. Go out and run around the block and see if there's a chick running, and, do that. Go meet some people. Where do I meet my tribe? What do you like to do? Go fucking do that thing. There's men there. You like shooting? Go to a gun range. There's men there. You like fighting? Go to any gym. There's men there. Go out and meet people and interact with them. Because I think that's where a lot of these guys, man, there's a generation that doesn't know anything but cell phones. Mm-hmm. That's insane. We remember when you used to have to wait all day to get home to see if someone left you a message on answering machine. That anxiety.
You didn't even have an answering machine.
Yeah, but before answering machines, yeah, dude, it was just, I remember party lines, bro.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Dude, that's funny. Well, I haven't heard that term in a long time.
We had a fucking party line, bro. You might pick up the phone and about 6 people talking on that shit. Like, What the fuck? Yeah, dude. And now these kids got NASA computers in their pocket, swiping, looking at porn. It's like, dude, put that shit away. Go outside and figure out who you are and what you like to do. And that's why I'm looking forward to getting up to I've been to Florida a few times just racing. Never got to experience anything cool there. It's always been go to some horse barn and sweat for 2 days and then leave. So this would be cool to be able to go and do man shit with men and just network with you. And there's a couple of dudes the big dude from Arizona, I think that's where he's from. The big ass beard, Marine. What's his name?
You're talking about a 21 speaker?
Yeah, the 21. I think he might have spoke last year. He was the one that got his gym closed down during COVID.
Oh, that's Ian Smith. He's up in Jersey.
Yes. Where's he from?
I think he's New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've listened to him. I follow him on Instagram. I like that dude.
Yeah.
That's a fucking man.
Yeah.
That
He's
shit
a
he
good
did.
guy.
That's
Smith is a really good guy.
he's a man. That's who I'm looking forward to networking with, those men. You know, that dude did what we did here. We said fuck COVID. We opened the gym. That we didn't have the pushback because we're in Texas, but we went the same length that he did. You're not telling me not to run my. We're here to be fit, to be get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
We're not listening to you. So when I saw that, I really liked that Anthony grabbed him too. That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of men there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll be happy with it for sure. Another person you did a video about, and I'm going to bring this up. I kind of at first I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but because I've got a lot of pushback from this personally, I am going to talk about Jesse Lou Peterson. And you did do a video about him.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I will say it was personal because I know Jesse personally. I've had him on my channel a few times. I've spent a lot of time with him at 21. And, I've had a lot of pushback saying, oh, it's just a men's Me Too movement. And the difference is that I do know Samuel very well. And in fact, I was chatting with Samuel today for this guy to come out. And that, to me, that was kind of like we'll say the silver bullet for me.
Yeah.
And I saw all these accusations before, and I don't want to say that I ignored it, but I put it back in the back of my brain and kept an eye on it. And then when I saw Samuel on that first documentary, and that's when everything kind of clicked for me. Again, I know these guys personally.
Yeah.
It's not somebody I just looked at the screen. And, Jesse is just a man also. So, but I find it really difficult that it doesn't matter what is said. To me, it's like, oh, we need proof. And I'm like, what do you need? Like a video of him doing sexual favors on some dude? And even then, you would say he's probably not doing it.
It's fake news. That's some deep fake shit, something. Tony, we live in a world where the cognitive dissonance that they willfully hold on to, it's staggering. It's crazy that Jesse seems to have gone on without missing a beat. His channel goes on. I haven't watched his content, but I haven't heard anything about him addressing anything. He's just ignoring it.
Well, the comparison I made real quick was as soon as Vice News came out with something against Elliot, what did Elliot?
It was on. Yes.
It was on.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think Anthony had asked him, sent him an email, nothing bad, like, hey, what's going on, with this? And no response. And also the fact that, I know Ermeus, who worked for him for 20 years. I believe it's about 20 years as his PR guy. I met Ermeus also in person. Okay. Not only that, I communicated with him, but he left because he knows that stuff is real and true.
Man. And
even dealing with Samuel as a friend of mine right now, it's, people think this is easy for me and I want to say it to sensationalize it. As in, it's the farthest thing from the truth, but I want somebody held accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
And being silent to me is not what a man does.
No, it's not. And this is back to we're here to help men. We're here to help men. Now, that shit's not helping men. That shit, it's predatory. It's wrong. Now, if Jesse would have owned up to it and said some Christian like stuff, did some repenting, did some of the shit that he tells people they're supposed to do, it might have hit different. But if someone accuses me of doing or being anything that I'm not, I'm fuck taking the high road. I am petty, dude. If you make a whole video calling me a homosexual, you're gonna know I'm not gay because I'm gonna come fuck you up and I'm going to jail for you doing that shit. I'm not gonna make a return video. I'm gonna fuck you up for trying to destroy me that way. Now, anything less than that is doable. No video, no nothing, no nothing. You said nothing. That to me is an admission of guilt. That to me, you don't ignore shit like that. These guys, if they were lying, I don't think that they were. That's an elaborate lie, bro. That's not just one dude saying, yeah, he touched me funny. That was a whole group of men putting themselves out there. And this is, and this might sound messed up, but it's not like the fucking Me Too movement, because women lie about that type of shit all the time. Women feel guilty about giving up that ass and cry foul the next day all the fucking time. What does it take for a man to say that a man took his ass or tampered with him? It's not the same. That's not the same thing at all. You're a man, and if you're not straight up homosexual across the board, if you're a man struggling with that shit, doubting it, that's not something that you go, hey man, I'm gonna be popular by doing this. You're gonna put a scarlet letter on your back, on your forehead. You're gonna do that so you can get some clicks? I don't believe that. I think that those dudes, especially, I don't know the skinny guy's name, the tall skinny dude. Is that the guy that's your friend?
No, Samuel. He's Mexican.
Okay, the tall skinny guy was the most compelling dude. Like I listen to him.
Yeah.
Yes, I listened to him shit. I'm like, okay, that dude's not lying. He isn't saying this stuff to be vindictive or mean. It's almost like he's hurt, and that's fucking dudes just don't. Even gay dudes, man, they're still men. It's still men, and for men to say, hey man, this happened, that's different than a woman saying it happened, whether it did or it did not. But if it didn't, for a man to say something, that's just weird, bro. I would never accuse someone of raping me, a man of raping me, just so I could get attention. Like the magnitude of the attention that I would get for that makes me shudder to fucking think about people looking at me going, that dude got fucked in his ass by a homeboy. Why would you do that to yourself? I mean, that to me, those guys aren't lying. I don't think that they're doing any of this stuff for their own personal benefit. I think, like you, I think that they want that guy held accountable and they want him to stop. And it doesn't look like anybody's taking that shit very seriously. That's the scary part.
I mean, I think there are people that take it serious. I really do. But, you know, after talking with Samuel, and I really was, you know, again, I chatted with him today, but I think it really was the shame involved in it. You know, I think that's the point.
That's why he came out.
Yeah. I mean, it was shame. He had to do something. He couldn't walk by these guys picketing outside Jesse's thing, knowing the exact same thing is happening to him, the exact same thing. He just couldn't do it. And, you know, I kind of picked up on it, I'll say, at the beginning of the year when, you know, I used to communicate with Samuel all the time. All of a sudden it just stopped. And I didn't know if it was my association with Jesse that made him stop or his shame, but finally he wanted to say something, and I'll give him a lot of credit for that. You know, and if people think this was easy for me, nah, it wasn't, because I liked him. I met him. I considered him a friend. So, you know.
Yeah, this type of thing is not easy for anyone involved.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, especially, I see why Anthony's so pissed. When you trust a person, as a man especially, when you trust another man and you call him brother, and you don't just say that because it sounds cool, like you mean that shit, and you find out that dude is not who you thought he was, that shit feels different. I mean, it's a different kind of betrayal. It's sneaky shit, man, and it's not okay. And it's weird. It's weird that so many people don't want to believe it. That's the crazy part.
A lot of it has to do with you put your eggs in one basket. You build your life around this ideology and this form of, I'll say, this brand of Christianity that he has. And there's a lot of things that he says that are true, I believe. Yeah. But some things that I've always kind of stood back at, like the anger thing. I was watching a little bit of a podcast today. I'm not even going to say the guy's name, but I think that, everybody, one of the things is that if you get angry, you're weak.
Shit.
You're a woman, this thing. And no, and really what it needs to be said, in my opinion, that it's how you control your anger, what you do,
Yeah.
that what makes you a man or makes you do the wrong thing. Okay. Because anger is part of everybody's life. And the person that doesn't have a little bit of that anger or a little bit, and another thing I've said too is anger. Let's not get anger confused for being passionate about something. You can be,
And anger's not a bad emotion.
so
Anger's good, dude. Anger isn't bad. When I can't do something well, I get angry about it. I don't throw shit in. It makes me mad. I get mad. I get frustrated, and then I try harder. You know what I mean? Like I fucking dig in, or I'll walk away for a minute and try to get my shit together. But I come back because you're not beating me. And it's my anger that brings me back. Anger is a man's tool. Not being able to control your anger makes you weak. Being an emotional bitch makes you weak. Flying off the handle like a lot of youngsters, like a lot of young black. When I was young, we had it so mixed up. We thought being a man was basically being an emotional little bitch. The faster you resorted to anger and violence, that means you're a real nigga. It's like, no, it makes you a real fucking idiot. And you get in a lot of trouble and you do a lot of stupid shit quickly that you didn't need to do because you couldn't control your emotions, your anger. And I think that's when you're weak, because a man who doesn't have the ability to get angry and be violent, to me, in my opinion, that man is almost worthless. He is fucking almost, unless he knows how to garden real well and go and find fruits and vegetables and shit, that dude is almost worthless. Because if you can't hit that switch, get angry, and do whatever the fuck you need to do, then that means that you can be moved any kind of way. And Jordan Peterson made a comment about that a while back, and I loved it. I don't know if it was someone else's, but he said that, I don't remember how it went. But basically,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful little whatever it is, but it's a harmless man cannot be a good man. And that's what it is. A harmless man cannot be a good man. A good man is a man capable of violence but has it under voluntary control. That's what he said. To me, that's the shit. That's the truth. Because if you can hurt, if you can kill, but you choose not to, then everything else is negotiable. You know what I mean? On your side, everything else can be worked out to your benefit. But if you're not willing, if you're not able to do that, then what the fuck are you going to do about it? Whatever it is, what are you going to do? You get sad, triggered? What are you going to fucking do? You're going to do nothing. You're going to do exactly as you're told, and you're going to get in that box, and you're going to go where you're told. I think that whole message of you get mad, you're a woman, I think that's a control mechanism that Jesse uses so people don't show anger towards him. It's to disarm him. The dude's not dumb.
Yeah,
I mean, old school booty snatcher, man. That he's got some skills at it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at one of my notes here is that Christianity, a lot of Christians disguise hate and anger, and I think that's a big problem with the Christian community. We disguise this hate and anger as in other ways, the way we talk to people. I talk to, I've talked to, we'll say, a lot of Christians, which really kind of annoy me, and I call it those glazed over look, that trance look. And it's really strange to me because that's not the real person. Okay. And that's kind of the Christianity that I've walked away from.
Yeah.
If you say a cuss word, they look at you like you're the worst person in the world. And it's always like, I'm better than you. I know what I'm talking about and you don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I put more money in that plate than you did.
Yeah.
And I don't cuss, but I cheat on my wife and I fondle, I do all kinds of fucked up shit, but I don't cuss. These words didn't even exist during Jesus' time. So a curse word that they were speaking about in the Bible, they weren't talking about shit and fuck. They were really trying to curse one. Like that was a whole thing that people did back then. And I try, like when Christians, when they try to attack me because the way I talk, because I do, I drop some bombs every now and then, but I'm not blasphemous toward the word at all. But when people say shit like that to me, well, how do you justify being a Christian and the way you talk sometimes? And I'm curious to know, what did those people think Jesus was saying when he was flipping over the money changers table and he was whipping those people? Do you think he was saying, geez, guys, you should get out of here right now? Or was he saying, motherfucker? I mean, you don't do that type of shit and do it cornily. You know what I mean? That when he went to the temple and started flipping over tables and whipping people with a whip that he made by himself, I bet you if Jesus was black, he was 100% nigga on that day. Everything he said was probably hilarious. You motherfuckers, he probably went off because he was still a man. And when I tell them that, they get that glazed over look like, how dare you say our Lord said that? Like, you are a fucking clown. I'm kind of making a joke, but it's not really a joke because there's a possibility that really happened. What does den of vipers mean? That could have been motherfucker back in his day. You know what I mean? Get out of my father's house, you den of vipers. That might have been the worst cuss word that they said back then. We don't know. But he was calling them people names. I think that he was probably cussing them out. It just isn't shit we say today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's the same Christianity. I think what men like us who have grown up in Christianity and then see what the church is today, you know something. You know something's wrong. You know that what you see isn't what it's supposed to be, but you don't know what it is. You're not quite sure what the fuck it is that's got it so wrong. Well, Jesse is he's actually a perfect, I don't know that we can find a better example. He's a perfect example of what's wrong with the church. The church was stolen a long time ago. Like in the Western, here in America, I don't know that we've ever known Christianity in its true form. Because when Jesus was still here, the Roman Catholic Church was doing their thing, their deities and their statues and all the shit. They were doing all their pagan stuff. Well, when Constantine decided to absorb Christianity and become a Christian, a lot of the stuff that we celebrate in Christianity today is pagan. You know what I mean? A lot of it, almost all of it, if not all of it, doesn't have anything to do with Jesus. These are pagan rituals that dogs are out there singing, but these are pagan rituals that we've adopted as Christianity. And so going to church on Sunday, that's not from Christ. Like in the Bible, the Sabbath was supposed to be on Saturday, I think. You're supposed to go to church on Saturday and rest on Sunday. And so here we go on Sunday, and Sunday, like the Sunday worship is worship of the sun god. Mm-hmm. That's what all that shit was about. So what we've got in America is a bastardized form of Christianity that's run by the fucking devil. That's the problem, in my opinion. They're preaching prosperity at the pulpit. That's the biggest fucking gospel, is the prosperity. Jesus wants you to have it. You're supposed to have that big house, that airplane. Put some money. The more you give, the more he'll give you. That's a fucking hustle.
Yeah, that's a hustle for sure.
And the whole thing's a hustle. There's very few. Vadi Bakum is one of the few preachers that preaches the truth that I've listened to. I love listening to that guy's preach because he doesn't give a fuck about how you feel. If it's not in the word, if it's not explained in there, then you just made that shit up. And I love that. I mean, if you're going to call yourself a Christian and you're going to use the Bible as your guide, that should be your only guide, not Joel Osteen or T.D. Jakes or these.
That was one of the guys I was going to mention was Joel Osteen. I mean, I have a really hard time even looking at that guy.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
They're all pieces of shit. T.D. Jakes, that little short Kenneth Copeland, these dudes are all false prophets. They're all about that money, Creflo Dollar. These fucking people make so much money preaching this gospel. It's not Christ. It's not Christ incarnate. It's none of that shit. It's, you know what? You're fine the way you are. And God wants you to have it. What do you want? You know what? He wants you to be fat. It's okay. That shit's crazy, man. And so a lot of what we see today is it's happened because the church has been gone. We shouldn't have any of this tranny shit going on. This homo push, fucking with the kids. None of this should be going on. The reason why it is because men left the church a long time ago. The real men left the church a long time ago, because if they were still there, this country would still have those Puritan type values. This shit, if fucking our founding fathers could come back and see these trannies trying to take over this country, how would they feel? How would all those racist white men feel? A Lincoln, Jefferson, Washington, how would they feel for what they fought for, what they believed in? You know, even Booker T. Washington, all of those people that came before, how would they feel seeing what we are today? It's fucking sick. And it's because we've lost touch with God. We've lost touch with our order. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be God.
I think it's kind of like in Christianity too. There's my God and your God. I think that's the issues.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Same thing with everything in America is, and in the world is my truth and your truth.
My reality.
One truth.
Yeah. And there's
he has their own version of something.
Yeah. And that's what's so,
you have to live with that. Like, this is my version of the truth.
And not only do you have to live with, you have to accept someone else's shit. Otherwise you're perpetuating hate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm looking at this shit, dude. I have to say, Tony, I'm so thankful that I'm old. I'm older. We're not old, but I'm older. I'm not in my 20s. I don't have a whole bunch of, I don't look at the future and go, oh my God, got so much to look forward to. I'm going down the backside of that fucking hill. And it's like, I know, I don't have any delusions. Like, I know I'm not 21 anymore. I know all these things. I do not envy the youth today. I do not look at these guys. I don't look at kids that are in their, early 20s and go, damn, what I wouldn't give to go back. I would not want to go back to be 25 in this shit today. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. And what's coming, I think what's coming to this country, because we've allowed all this shit, I don't think we're going to want to be here. I don't think that any of us, especially us old fuckers who know how shit used to be, we're not going to want to be here anymore. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think we're going to want to move to Mexico or Russia or some shit.
Well, I don't know. I might be coming to Texas here soon, so don't leave too soon.
I ain't going nowhere, dude. I'll stay here. I'm dying right here where I live. I bought this.
I might be your neighbor soon. You don't know, because I'm looking to get out of it.
Dude, I got 45 acres, man. That's not a completely unheard of. You ready to move, dude? We can talk, because my goal is if shit goes bad, I want all the people I trust living right around me, dude.
That's right. I don't trust everybody living around me, so. But.
Yeah, I don't try. Like I got very few people around me because I'm in the sticks. But if I put some, I want to make sure I know who they are and I trust them. You know what I mean? I got 3 Rottweilers doing the job right now, but somebody could eat them. I don't trust them too far. The fuckers they're not very good watchdogs either.
I want to let everybody know that's from 21 Studios. There's something that I do here on my channel is we drop the StreamYard link in and you come and talk with Paul. So, so you hit that link, follow the directions, and if you got a question for Paul, you can come on live and ask it. So you see that link? I'm going to pin that sucker to the top of the chat right now. And I think on 21 Studios too. I don't know if it's pinned, but you'll see it in the chat. So if you want to come on and talk with Paul, now's your chance. And I've got already 3 people backstage. I am going to bring on everybody. Just relax 1 second. I am going to put up a shield because we have some really good trolls on my channel. So,
I bet.
all right, let me pop a shield up here. I want to make sure, is this Caduceus?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, that sounds like you.
Caduceus has a radio voice.
Let me add Deacon
Working on it,
Little. I
man.
know that's you.
How we doing, fellas? No, I'm joking. What's going on, guys? How you
And
doing?
then we got Watcher backstage. I'm going to remove the shield.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, guys.
There are no weenies here.
All righty, boyos. All righty.
Welcome.
As you can see, Tony, I have a neck now. I'm starting to lose weight even more, so I actually have a neck now.
Oh, that's
Congrats,
good.
dude.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't realize it, Deacon, he's been riding his bike all around Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So if you see him wheeling by, give him a salute.
I did 2 hours the other day. I did about 20 miles, and I did like about. It was a tough ride. I had to climb a lot of hills, but I'm getting on it, man. Too old not to stay fat.
Well, tell Paul about your journey. I think you were on with Paul last time or the other time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
A lot has changed, man. A lot has changed. I started getting serious about working out, eating right, changing things. I'm feeling a lot better than I have been. Backaches have been they're reduced. Of course, muscle aches lifted. So I'm on this journey now. Like I work out 3 times a week, but I'm doing full body. I got advice from Caduceus though about my eating because I was doing a deficit. And he was telling me you may have to want to eat here and there, but plus I'm getting my all my macros taken a look at and stuff. But it's been insane. Now I've been singing and playing guitar on stage now at the open mic. So I already also joined a band, and I'm working on music with Self-Made, and a lot of stuff's been going on.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah, good for you. It's good to hear, man. Yeah, you're moving forward, which is good. Good for
Yeah.
you. I'm glad to hear that. So, and I know you were on a weight journey. So let's hear it.
Yeah, man.
Cool, man.
Yeah, you're like 30 down, right?
Pretty much. I was shocked. All these extra large shirts are starting to wave in the wind. I'm like, huh?
Nice.
You have to go shopping pretty soon, man.
You're gonna be mooning. You're gonna be mooning people in the supermarket with that waistband looking.
Brutal. But yeah, like I get on it tomorrow morning, like right before work. I go right to the gym and just hit it hard, and doing, sticking to those compound lifts and stuff like that as much as I can.
Good, man.
Build that base.
Good for you.
Exactly.
I'm glad to hear it, man. It's nice to hear success stories. It's nice to see somebody doing so. It's nice that you realize that you, in other words, were stagnant, and now you decide to go ahead and move and get it done. So, because there's a lot of guys out there that aren't in shape, and the next step, even when you start getting older, the only next step is in a box. I mean, that's the reality of it. So, But I also want to welcome Watcher. Watcher, how you doing, man?
Hello, all. I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah. You got any questions or comments for Paul?
Hey, Paul. I watched some of your videos. Hey there. I watched some of your videos about about different things in the manosphere and about was it the Cuck Mastery Expo and different things like that. So it's pretty funny. Yeah. Questions. I don't really have any questions right now. I'm still shocked about all of the Jesse Lee Peterson allegations. So I'm still beside myself because of that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are. That wasn't. I don't think that was on anybody's radar.
Yeah.
And I think that the natural reaction to that is shock.
Yeah.
You know, you have a booty bandit among you and you don't know it. That's shocking. You want to be able to sniff those things out, and if you can't, it's like, shit, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I just want to point something out. Someone on my show actually brought up the issue and I didn't bring an answer, and I was called a fence sitter for it. I'm going to solidify my stance on the Jesse Lee Peterson thing. I don't know what went down, but I've been talking with Tony. I think he's a fairly good judge of character. And when he says Samuel's probably telling the truth, I'm going to side with him there. That's just kind of how I see it. I don't know what happened, but I'm inclined to believe it based on the people I know.
Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to add to that because I met him in person, at the Bond convention, and there I met Tony in real life for the first time. I met Anthony Johnson for the first time. And here's the thing. When I first met him, I could tell he was gay. Like I have like certain gay members of like my family, and I love them besides their gay nonsense. But as weird as this is going to sound, like from dealing with them, I have like a gaydar, they call it. And when I looked at him, my gaydar went off. And so I figured, okay, maybe he's a closeted homosexual, he's trying to be a good Christian. So he got all the more respect for me for that. But then as it gone on, and Tony, I don't know if you remember, but when we were at church with him that Sunday, I asked him to do the silent prayer, and he was being a sassy little bitch about it, and he didn't want to do it at first, but then he did do it because enough of the crowd wanted to do it. I guess he didn't have anyone to molest there. That's probably why he didn't want to do the silent prayer.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I was there. I remember that. But I think people are in shock, and sometimes you just gotta, whether or not you want to believe it as true or not, that's up to you. But again, knowing people personally, I had to side with someone, and I had to side with Samuel because I know him personally, and I don't believe he's lying. He has no reason to lie. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So. But let's go to Vital Message.
Yes. Yeah, I think earlier when you were talking about the corruption within religious institutions, specifically Christianity, I think this is a problem among a lot of community leaders where a lot of them haven't lived in the real world, to be frank about it. A lot of them have locked themselves into a bubble of academia. They're looking at videos, books, speeches instead of actually figuring out how hard it is to work, what it takes to improve your life. So I suggest everyone, please question your quote unquote community leaders, your religious leaders. Ask, have they done anything in the real world to back up their advice? And see if there's any ground in the real world. And I want to hear kind of Paul and Tony and the rest of the panel's thoughts on community leaders not having any receipts in the real world that their ideas hold any merit.
I'll go first real quick. That is one reason why I like Michael Foster. I have met him. I've hung out with him a few times. Great guy. Lives in the real world every day. He's not just not a pastor. He's a businessman. He's been through a lot. I mean, you guys don't know he was a professional card counter. I mean, he's been in Vegas. There's a movie made about him called Holy Rollers. He knows the guys from the movie 21. He's lived some real life shit. You know what I mean? But he's a real person. And hopefully, Foster, if you're watching, jump back on. But I think Foster is a great example of a Christian religious leader that is legit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I think that's probably a good measurement to gauge whoever your religious leader is by, because so many of these guys do lock in these bubbles. They preach in this echo chamber, and when all you're doing is telling people, if the church and the manosphere in this current state are a lot alike. Instead of telling the truth and telling the people, the congregation, listen, you fucked up, you got work to do, it's a whole different story. These people are telling the congregation what they want to hear to make them feel better, so they'll keep paying them. It's the same hustle. And these guys, you know, they do works and wonders in their own church, but where is the work? Where are your receipts in the public? That's one of the biggest, like I always talk about the collection plate when I speak about modern church, but that's really what it's come down to. It's tax. They don't have to pay taxes. So who's getting this money? These mega churches that we have in Texas are fucking insane. These are multi-million-dollar corporations that don't pay taxes. And all these people keep coming back and they walk out feeling great instead of feeling convicted, instead of feeling like they got work to do. When I went to church as a child, even before I knew what good and bad was, I used to leave church horrified, thinking, oh my God, I can't do this shit. This is impossible. Now you got people happy when they leave. Jesus is gonna buy me a jet. It's insane. And it's I think a good measurement, all churches are going to need revenue and whatnot. But I think a good measurement of your spiritual religious leader is the lack of all that stuff. You know what I mean? You don't need a Rolls Royce or a Benz or a Bentley or a BMW to preach. You don't need any of that shit. And when you got these people that are ingrained in the worldly stuff, that's not the people you want to be listening to for your spiritual nourishment at all, because they need you to feel good about where you are so you can pay them so they can keep buying shit. Similar to Donovan Sharp and all these other dudes, it's the same setup. Let me tell you that you're fine. It's all the women's fault. Give me some money on my Patreon so I can get this studio so you can think that it's the same cycle. And so you do have to question. You have to question everyone in a leadership position. There's receipts, and there's also what life are they living? What life are you living? Are you just telling me this shit, or are you living it? And that's where they're going to get a huge break. What are these people when they're off the pulpit, when they're not telling you that you're perfect? What are they? Who are they? And I don't know that you can really find. That's the problem with trying to go find a church. Where are you going to find that at? Where are you going to find something that's real? That's a problem. It's a real problem.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point as well, because when I'm looking for role models in general, I want to see, like, is this person living a life that I want to live? And can I learn from their experience? And there's I don't see that with a lot of people.
And that's good, though. And that's what might be, a lot of people might be looking at you. That's the thing. If you don't see a lot of people that you see in that light, you might be one of those people, which is badass. If you don't know that yet, you might want to check that out.
Yeah. Let's go back to church real quick thing. And I remember, growing up, especially in my early teens, we went to some pretty hardcore churches. When I say hardcore, these were one ended up being really fake. And, the typical.
One of the Holy Ghost churches?
Well, yeah, but the typical pastor screwing the organist and everything. It's just.
The hand clapping, foot stomping church.
So, Tony, you lost your virginity there, right?
Yeah. But also, I do remember my dad worked with this black reverend. So we went to this black church. We went there a couple times. I remember his name is Teddy. And you talk about a church that puts the fear of God in you.
Yep.
They played a movie. I remember the name of the movie it was called The Burning Hell. And it was about, I don't know if you guys ever, this has to be in the late 70s, I'm going to guess and say. But The Burning Hell was a movie and shows what happens when you go to hell. And let me tell you, it was tough to watch. There was a lot of repenting going on, we'll say.
Wow.
But let me bring a couple people on here real quick. I want to throw up a ticker here. Oh, wrong one. Sorry.
Grab a girl real fast.
I'm going to bring on Uncle Guns. Uncle Guns, is that you?
It is I, boyos, your one and only uncle.
Okay. And then I'm going to bring on somebody I don't know. It's Paul. I wonder if this is the Paul that I know. Paul?
I was born a boy, but I want to be a girl.
Goodbye.
Oh, come on. Well, I knew that was coming. So
That's fun. But before that, were you the uncle that got to Tony, Uncle Guns?
Wow.
I don't know what that means. Did that go over my head? I think so.
Oh, you know
almost
the joke about the uncle that took your virginity, that kind of.
Brutal.
Guns is younger than I am. Maybe I'm the uncle.
Hold on, Paul. Is that a deer?
It is. It is, man. We do wildlife rescue, and this lady brought this little girl about 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
She got hit by a car, I think.
Oh wow!
But I grabbed her. I grabbed her out of the truck before I knew she was fucked up, and for the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to rehab her back to get her dialed in. I've been doing all kinds of crazy shit, man. I've been e-stemming her in her back hind where she had no feeling. She started to move her legs again. So she was about to fall out of the chair over there, so I had to go grab her. She's my buddy.
At first,
Yeah,
I thought
she's real tame.
Is that a beer?
No, it's a full deer. Say hi, fellas.
Oh,
Hello. Was it a fawn or
Yeah.
Okay,
She's a
it's a fawn.
She's a little baby. She's gotten quite a bit bigger since I got her.
Oh yeah, she's eating now.
Yeah, she's eating good, and I hopefully she'll be able to walk, man. I've been trying to use my personal training knowledge. I don't know shit about how they're built, but I know if it was a human being, what I'd be trying to do to them. So we've been trying to rehab the shit out of her. They would have killed her right off the bat if they would have found her.
Yeah.
So we talked to the game warden, and he was like, "Listen, you guys are crazy for doing that, but it's cool."
And how much does that deer weigh?
She's probably about 20 pounds, 25 pounds, maybe.
Oh, okay.
A little thing.
That's about right.
Yeah, she's still little.
Oh wow! Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's got to grow into her head. It looks like.
Did you name her?
No, I don't, dude. I stopped naming animals because they die.
Oh,
It breaks my soul, dude. So I just call her pretty girl or whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, anybody in the chat, if you have a question for Paul or a question for anybody on the panel, go ahead and drop them in there for sure.
I had a question earlier in the stream from a guy that on Tony's channel that looks like a new guy, Luke. I don't know. I'm going to butcher your last name, Luke Pignio. He had asked. He said he was 16, and he says he's 16 and he's different from all of his friends. What's the one piece of advice the gentleman on the panel could give him?
But he said he's superior to his friends. In other words, he wasn't joking. I think that was the question. Remember that.
Okay.
Where he's superior in all aspects of, I guess, would be physical and probably in school and things like that. So what advice would you give a guy like that?
Shit. He's already just the baddest dude.
I got something after Paul.
Hey man, if he's superior, this is the way my grandpa told me this. If you're the best person in the group of people that you're in, you need to get a different group. You don't want to be the baddest dude in the group that you're in. So it's cool that you're superior to everyone, but I think that the best advice I would give someone who was in that position, whether it be true or you just thought that way, you need to surround yourself with people who would challenge your superiority. That's what I would say. You need to sharpen your iron with iron as fast as possible.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, you're 16 years old. There's no way in hell you're better than everyone possibly. Maybe the group that you're hanging out with.
Yeah, that's what he said. The group that he's hanging out with.
Yeah, if you're the most badass dude in the group, you need a new group. If you're the smartest dude in the group, you need a new group.
Okay,
you don't want to be the head of
Okay,
it.
so
You don't
he
want to
lives
be
in
the best.
Arkansas.
Here's this question right here.
Oh
There's a lack of
shit!
diversity.
If he lives in Arkansas, that says a lot.
Here's what he says right here, guys. If you want to read that.
Okay, so it's hard for him to find a new group of people, a new cohort to expand his skills.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
what
guess
do you-
he maybe has a networking issue because there's not too many people to work with.
That might be it. What do you like to do? Yeah, I mean that's a hard thing to do. I think that's probably harder for young guys to do than old dudes to do.
I don't know. Maybe you got to go outside of your age group and find some people that are doing what you want to do as well.
Yeah.
Get a mentor that way.
It's a great idea, actually, to be honest. Hang around
Yeah.
people that makes sense.
Like what kind of jobs and like industries you want to join? Maybe they get like an entry level job there and shake some hands and meet some people.
He said he's 16.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
That's a young dude. He's already asking that question. That's a good question to be asking. When I was 16, I didn't care about any of that. What's the matter?
He's ahead of the game.
Way ahead of the game.
Okay, we got a comment here from Leo. Let's see what it says. One, we need humanity, need a religion that will persist into the future. This religion will be objective. Is that in that it is recognized as truth, ultimate and supreme. The religion will be subjective. What do you guys think of that?
You want to take a stab at this, Paul?
Man, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian, and I believe that it's real comfortable and real arrogant and cocky for humans to go, Jesus, shit, all that stuff's old, and say all this that we need a new something. I don't believe that. I don't believe the old something's run its course. I think we're in the process of maybe that happening now. Seems like it.
I believe that Christianity is the most subjective religion on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think we need anything new. I think what we need to do is actually live the old. We already have all the answers that we need. The 10 Commandments gives you everything that you need to do. And if it's too much for you, if it's too much to read or if it's too much to comprehend, the golden rule will suffice. Do unto others, treat other people the way you want to. You just do that. If we all did that, then how much bullshit would stop? We don't need anything new. We don't need to progress. We need to actually follow the law that's already been given to us. You know what I mean? We don't need anything to come about that we don't already have. We just need to actually use the shit that's been given to us. And we just don't do it. We want something new and progressive.
Yeah.
And that's funny you said the 10 Commandments. That's the ultimate foot in your behind because those rules are like straightforward. There's no like deviation.
None.
Like,
Okay.
You can't pick the ones you like. I mean, if we just stop doing the 10, I think there's 3 of them that just say, I'm God, don't flex. You take those ones out, and the other ones, don't covet, don't bone your neighbor's wife. Don't do all these things that we're not supposed to do anyway. Shit that we do when we make it. In my world, my truth is all this bullshit. If we stop doing those things that are forbidden, that Moses told us, 99% of our problems would go away. 99%. If we all said, you know what, these are the rules. This is the law.
Yeah, I think what Leo's saying, I can kind of take a piece of it where the most simple, harsh realities are things we got to accept. Like we're gonna die one day, and like there's certain challenges. Some people are gonna be more skilled than others. The adapt or die type of thing. but then like individually you find a role model who's living the type of life that you want to do, or a few, and then you tailor your own lifestyle. And then once you figure it out a little bit, you kind of shape the community the way that you want it to become with your influence that you built from your learning skills from your role model and putting in work. It's kind of how I see it.
So the world should be your experiment.
Yeah, in a way. But then again, like that's like your personal journey. But like if you actually want the world to change, don't expect someone else to fix it in the like when you go to the ballot box.
Oh no.
Actually just do things.
Yeah. In your own world. That's the crazy. I think that's beautiful. Because a lot of people, I want to change the world, but I'm going to do some unreachable shit. No, go outside and do something where you're at. Change your world. Like change the world where you live at right now. And if you do that, if we all took those little 10 things, you know, even if we just picked the ones we liked and just really focused on those ones and went out there and tried to change our world where we actually live to be the world that we want to see, start moving that way and projecting that way, then other people go, you know what, I like that. And that's the way the whole thing would go. But the guy asked about the future religion. What these kids are doing in entertaining this shit, the whole New World Order and all of that stuff, the one world government, the one world control system, I don't know how people look at that and go, man, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's not a conspiracy. You're an idiot if you don't see that they're doing that shit right now. Not only are they doing it, you youngsters like this one here, Leo here, is asking about this. I don't want to be around when that thing comes about. I'm gonna be dead. I will be gone before I sit back and wait for that shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the dot. I'm not doing the scan. I'm not doing any of that shit that these youngsters are bringing in out of convenience, and it's fun and it's cool. These people are marching you down towards exactly what's in the old shit you're trying to get away from. Like everything that's happening right now, it'd be real convenient to go, you're a conspiracy theorist because you're an arrogant American. You guys are falling apart and finally getting your due. And now it's the end of the world. And I could look at that and go, you're right. That is a little arrogant. But this is the whole planet now. We got the whole planet getting locked down. You know, they're closing farms. You're going to eat bugs, all of this shit. What do you people think this is? What do you think this is, Mr. Leo? This is guiding you toward that revelation shit. So when you read these books, these old books written on old stuff that doesn't mean shit, cool, man, sweet. But if you read some old book on some old shit and it's rhyming like a motherfucker with what's going on in your real life today, you might want to stop and pump the brakes on the arrogance, thinking that old shit doesn't matter. We got to get some new shit, and maybe start to worry about your soul and the world you're living in that you're ushering in because it's cool and awesome and progressive. Maybe, just maybe, you look at that old shit and go, we got some fucking problems, son. Because everything that we're going through right now, it's biblical. It's biblical, dude. And you don't have to be a Christian to say, oh, that's right. It's biblical. Why? Because they wrote about it. Wars, famine, all these things that precede major shit, it's going on globally. It's never happened before. This is real. This is real. And what comes out of this, none of us want to be here. They already told you what it's going to be. Totalitarian control, can't move, can't buy shit, can't do shit if you don't toe the line. I ain't going to be here. I'm dying in that revolution that's going to happen, ushering that shit in. I'm not staying around for that.
Well, the globalists want, what was it, 90% of the population dead by 2030?
Yep. And I hope some took that shot. They're dying now.
I'm gonna do a counter to that a little bit. I don't think this New World Order thing, I don't think it's new. I think it's just people in power. Because, like, let's be real. If you have power, you're not going to give it up. You're gonna tighten it. It's just simple. You get more leverage. over time. That's just simple side of it. And the reality is the masses are going to be the buffalo herded off the cliff.
Yep.
In a way. Now, if you just have awareness, know what's within your capabilities, you could maybe sideswipe it and like build your network. If you're in your communities, let's say that you want to eat meat still, you might have to know that farmer or that rancher in your community, so you can make a deal with them. Like, hey, I'll do some work for you, and you just give me maybe a rib, maybe a rib roast or something like that in return. And that
But
way,
what happens
so
when
instead
they're-
of being on that social credit system where you lose on that digital currency, it's untracked in that case. So just kind of finding ways to work around the system to where like they're going to try to lock you in, but there's ways that
what
you can still
happens when there's
maneuver.
no more farmers?
Well,
What
if there's no
happens
more
when-
farmers, then I guess like
See, that's
that
where
that would be outside of my realm of control. So it's just kind of stuff that
Right.
I would have to do. So
See,
what
and
am I
that's-
going to do about it? How does it affect my management in there? And then
Right.
Leo, I was wondering if he's a neurologist because I see he has an EEG machine on. It looks like, just out of curiosity.
Well, yeah, aren't they going after the farmers in what was
Yes.
like the Netherlands or something like
They're
that?
yes, man. They've got. They're trying to get rid of. I think almost more than half of the farms in the Netherlands. They're all this Green New Deal shit, all this climate bullshit, everything that they're doing right now.
There's
is-
too much nitrogen in the air. Like, what the hell is
Yeah.
that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I just see that kind of stuff. It's something to be aware of, but I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna like hyper focus on it because
you
what the
can't.
hell? What the hell
No.
am I gonna do about that?
No,
Is
you
the reality of it.
absolutely can't. Your plan that you talked about, that's exactly what shit. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm out here in the boonies with a deer. I'm out here, like we moved out of Dallas, Fort Worth area. We bought a bunch of land about 10 years ago because this shit was coming. And like, that's the same way I look at it now. I pray, I read, I look at the world, and all I can do is go, shit. All I can do is all I can do. There's nothing I can do outside of what I can do. And if and when the walls close in, and that's where I'm at as a man. If the walls close in on me to where like they come to take my shit, that's the end of my story. That's the end of my story. My story ends there. It doesn't end in some Alexander Solzhenitsyn shit where I'm sitting in some FEMA camp going, fuck, I should have fill in the blank. We've seen all the shit coming. We've got history to refer to, and everything that's outside of my control is outside of my control until it's within my control. And that's the way I look at shit. Like, for me, I look at it like I'm going to do exactly the same thing that you said. I'm going to do what I can do, try to mitigate everything as much as possible. But if and when shit closes in, it's just a wrap. You know what I mean? You got business decisions to make.
There's something you said, though, if and when, because I think a lot of people that are, we'll say, so-called preppers and people are living off-grid literally want this to happen so they can be proved right. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to be proved right.
And those people have no fucking idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I would like Guns to talk about this because we talked about this before, where the prepper community switched from like being able to survive a disaster or collapse or infrastructure issues to I'm gonna live and you're gonna die type of bragging and pride. Like I think Guns has a good perspective on that one if he wants to share it.
Well, I mean, for well over a decade, there was, all these zombie television shows talking about, I could survive the zombie apocalypse, and now we're here, and you got guys, most of the guys that were talking about, I could survive it, and now they're pointing fingers, going, how did we get here? What do I do? You lived in a comic book fantasy, and you enabled everything that was going on by participating in the machine system. And now the system's here. It's knocking at the door, and this is just where we are, the years upon years of desensitization and allowing mechanisms to take over control. And, now they're flooding it more than ever, movies and TV and, look over here. I mean, the distractions are just everywhere. It's ridiculous. They want to sell you more and more distractions, and it's crumbling. It's just absolutely crumbling. They'll put anything in front of you.
I mean, when we say, a lot of us say that everybody's guilty of saying they. Like when we say they, who are we talking about? I'm curious what everybody thinks. To me, they is just evil, period. It's just an evil force. It's just the devil, Satan, whoever you want to call it. When I hear somebody say they, that's what I think. So I'm curious what everybody on the panel has to say about when we say they are coming for us or they want a new world order.
I agree with what you're saying. I think we're not battling humans, but humans are these spirits' chess pieces. And so your Klaus Schwabs, your Bill Gates, all these cunts that are doing all this shit, these people are just people, but what moves them to do what they do is, you can call it whatever you want to. It's evil. It's darkness. They're trying to do away with humans. Whatever they are, it's not people. You know what I mean? Like where we're going is getting rid of people. And so, what Guns is talking about, what's funny about the zombie shit, they have entertained us with zombies thinking that, we're going to have these ghouls that are doing shit that's physically impossible to do. Once you deteriorate to that position, like these people's shit's rotted off, you ain't walking no more. Those movies are hilarious to me because physiologically, you give a shit what you got. You're not moving once your bone actually, it rots away. But that's not what we're going to see. We're going to see people that are hungry because of food shortages and all of this shit. What's the difference? What's the fucking difference? Because in Nazino, they ate each other. That's cannibalism. That's zombie shit. So what they is not humans. That's not humans. And what they are supposed to is to move like zombies. So we've been doing this for a while. And like Gunn said, we have all contributed to that shit at some degree. It's okay, Mama.
Well, it's what you spoke of earlier. It's when people in power and control, all they want is more power and control, and they'll do anything to get it at any cost. And that's the scary part,
What was that saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep. Now, Deacon, I have a counter to that claim that people say. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but it's also cleansed absolutely.
That's true.
Like if there's a castle to storm and you know where it is, you can cleanse that absolute corruption. Now we're in a position where we don't know what castle to storm. That's why you're saying they. It doesn't matter who they are. You just know that someone has an agenda and they have a plan. And how you adjust is up to you.
That's true. It's like the complaint with certain entertainment and stuff like that. Now I watched one content creator. His name's Eric July. They donated $3 million to the start his content. I applaud him. I even threw $10 in there. That was wow. Yeah, so we're in that time period now where we have the room.
Did he ever get his money back?
I think he did. I think something got worked out. I got to look more into it. There was a huge controversy with that, how they tried to screw him out of some of it. So that was pretty wild. But the fact that he got that to that level is amazing, especially who he's contending with these corrupted IPs like DC and Marvel. Now this has been a rise of a lot more content creators actually creating their own content. At the same time, which is one of the biggest things now. So I can complain about it all day, but if I'm making my own music that I like to listen to or that other people would enjoy, or if I'm drawing a comic book, that's the turn that needs to be made these days. We got to
get a parallel society going for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the minimum we can do, is try to get what we want built on the side of this bullshit.
And let it rot from within in, man. It's only good. It's already on its trajectory right now.
Yeah.
You know, like I was joking, I said, I want to be entertained again. I'm tired of being yelled and screeched at when I'm watching something or told that I'm bad or evil. You know, you're a man, so you're bad. Or you're depicted that way in a movie. It's getting annoying.
Yeah.
Really? I find it really funny. We're like, really? I'm the oppressor? Great. I'd rather be the oppressor than the one who's being oppressed.
In their imaginary oppression, or what they do is they steal other people's hardships from the past and try to identify with them.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back. I want to play this clip I played at the beginning if anybody didn't see it. This is one of the clips from Sir Yeetus's channel. I played this at the beginning. So this, I don't know if you saw this, Deacon or Guns or Watcher, but let me play this real quick.
The assumption that the best protein comes from corpses is a racist belief, as it erases and replaces indigenous African, Asian, Mesoamerican cultural food practices. Meat eating is also one of the ways gender-based structures of oppression are perpetuated. Men in the West are taunted to renew their man card by eating meat because that's what real men do. That's the sexual politics of meat, and it reveals how unsettled masculinity really is.
What? That's enough internet for me today. I am going to wash myself with holy water.
Hey.
Yeah, I seen that clip. That was insane.
I mean, if you listen to that lady, that is they right there. That is they.
Like, is she really?
Well, here's the thing, though. Is she really they, or is they just kind of just channeling through her in a way?
Well, yeah.
That's the thing.
Probably both.
Yeah, she's a channel for they, basically.
That kind of thing. And another thing, like, it's just, you got to think critically of this kind of thing. And another thing, did Yeetus told me he was going to email you. Did he reach out to you?
He's going to. I jumped out of stream the other night. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, appreciate
Where
it.
was that? Where was that lady from? That wasn't America, was it?
I don't know where that came from. I know somebody else was talking about
They're
that.
saying that's some fucking stupid shit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell someone I like to eat meat because it tastes good and it's nutritious.
Yeah,
that's why I like to eat meat.
I eat meat because I'm racist.
Yeah, I mean, eating meat is racist. Now I saw another.
Yeah. Did you catch the other part of it where she said like criticizing a culture that historically has cannibalism is like racist against them?
Yeah, I'm not.
The other
All
one?
those people that she named, they all ate meat and they all chopped people's heads off and threw them down temple steps.
Yeah, but like it reminds me of what was it? There's a King of the Hill episode on it where Bobby Hill gets woke.
Yeah,
and they look at John Redcorn's tribe, and there was a history of cannibalism in it. And then he was saying like Bobby Hill was going like, you're culturally insensitive. They ate human flesh, and criticizing cannibalism was criticizing their culture, that kind of thing.
Man, we're really there though. That's our reality now. That's our reality. Like men can have periods and babies.
Oh my God!
You're racist and sexist if you think otherwise. It's like fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like
they'll take your racist money though.
Oh yeah.
When you see our vice president say, "My pronouns are she, her, whatever. I am wearing a blue suit," and
I can't stand that.
This is just it's so beyond what we ever thought we would be to see that.
She's a functional retard, bro. She's a functionally retarded whore. And she's our vice president.
Yeah,
you can say that again.
Well, the main thing, I'm from California, so I had her as a DA and a senator. She threw so many people in prison and laughed about it on the air before, and she was involved in actually some manosphere drama as well about the mosque and one of our local trolls. She used that to boost her campaign for Senate. It was kind of interesting.
Wow.
Held the guy as a scapegoat and accused him of something, and even like went up to him, hey, you accept the plea deal, we'll let you go, but to show that they were against racism.
What? Good God.
Yeah, you know the case that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
She was heavily involved because there was an election year for her.
Wow. I forgot about that part of it. Yeah. I knew it. I knew the person who that to deal with, but she used that to literally like strap you the rocket and strap her to the
and don't forget the Willie Brown business.
Oh,
downtown Willie Brown.
Downtown Willie Brown.
Yeah, I mean, they got put on in the first place.
There's a lot of conspiracies. Like, I know that pretty much everybody is an agent on this panel right now, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever said that to the guy making the claims actually makes me sound very cool. He says I'm an MI6 trained Men in Black agent.
That's right. And I'd like to play
all hail the New World Order. All hail the New World Order.
Absolutely. A real short clip here, just proving my point. And we do like the guy, bro, but we're gonna play this real quick.
Fucking made up, and Tony Bruno is a goddamn fucking agent. Uncle Gunn's a goddamn agent, and same thing with Woody Johnson is a goddamn fucking agent. They're all fucking agents. This guy, I think Tony Bruno might actually be Satan himself. I'd have to get a look at his eyes, probably why he wears those fucking glasses, but he's definitely on the payroll. Same thing with Uncle Guns. He's definitely on the payroll as well.
So
he totally he stereotyped you because you have the Van Dyke thing, and that's what Satan has in the comments.
Hey, whose payroll are y'all on though? I need to get some. How do I get on the payroll?
You have to worship the devil, Paul.
You got to attend this type meeting, Not
Oh, fuck.
And the funniest part is that I actually used to be on the payroll, and I actually used to be like work for the devil. That's the funny part.
Oh yeah, but
they all did at some point.
That guy was calling them agents probably willingly accepted that stimulus or whatever. He's right there.
Well, Guns, I got something just for Guns real quick.
That was sus.
That dude is awesome.
Double kill. Triple kill. Kill-tacular.
But one thing helped me though too. One thing I was just thinking about it. I ended up selling my Xbox, literally. In all my games.
Yes, good job.
I literally went and said, you know what? I need concentration because this is way too much. And I could tell that I was starting to. I mean, it's anyone, you can do what you want. For me personally, once I got rid of it, I noticed how much more time I had in the day, more things I got done.
Well, the thing about video games is, I mean, it's probably been, I'm going to say probably close to 10 years since we've had an Xbox. I've had an Xbox or a PlayStation in my house.
Yeah.
Probably 7-8 years. And anybody that plays video games knows that 3-4 hours can go by just like that.
Just like that.
Incredible. Video games, I mean, I grew up on them, but I remember when we had Pong. Which was just a little knob.
But you could get lost Pong all day, though.
You could
play Pong and Space Invaders all day.
I got an example of this though. I really like the game Bloodborne on PS4.
That is a good game.
And I can map out every step of Central Yarnum, but I can't map out every step of my own city. Wow. That's all I could say.
Wow.
I used to get into I used to like the driving games, the rally games.
Oh, yeah.
I could play those literally for like hours before I realized, say I started at like 8 o'clock. Before I realized it was already midnight. And I could keep going. Like it's addicting is what it is. So, it really, really is. Even like you're playing any of the football games or any of them. So when you look at people, a lot of times they're in a trance when they're on a video game. I think where is it in Japan or China where they've actually have like video, I guess not arcades, but where they come in
the cafes.
The cafes, and there's actually people
die there.
Die.
They die there, yeah.
Dead.
because they sit there, they get DVTs and they don't urinate and their kidneys fail or they get they don't eat, they don't drink, they die.
Yeah, and I think some of them, they said their eyes would stay open too. Is one of the things that I saw, like they wouldn't blink, and
So their eyes dried out.
Yeah,
yeah. And another thing I noticed about video games is that, like, the newer one, they made them so much grindier now, where it's like almost like as much work as a job, but you don't get paid. And that just, I'm like, if I'm going to go through that much trouble, I better be getting paid.
Now, Caduceus, you got to pay the video game now. That's where it's turned over. You have to buy into it more and more with all those microtransactions.
Yeah, like I'll see a guy who just he'll spend hours and hours doing the same mission just to get like a special piece of armor. And I'm just thinking, like, dude, that's a job right there. Like, I better be getting paid.
It was funny. My brother almost tried to disown me when he found out. He's like, "Oh, that's the worst thing you can do." I'm like, "Bro, I just can't. I got to get it back on my bike. I got to start doing other things because this is not working, for me right now at all."
I remember playing Grand Theft Auto when it first came out.
Oh man,
that's a fun one.
Are we talking about the one that was top view? We could look down. Or
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say it might be second generation. So, but yeah, you could, screw hookers in a room and you got extra points. And
Grand Theft Auto 3, brutal.
There's some fun games out there for sure, but you lose the time for sure. Definitely lose the time.
Yeah, it was. I just, I've had probably, I don't know, maybe at the most like 2 years, but I would find myself and I didn't do it often, but when I did, it was like, wow, you get stuck on that for solid 3 to 5 hours. And it would go.
Well, I'll also interject with being a younger guy. A lot of the social interaction came with the video games growing up because everyone was online.
Exactly.
You would join the party chat, talk shit to each other, maybe play some games together. That was the social interaction for a lot of young men. And it probably is worse now. I was kind of more in the Wild West of Xbox Live where everyone was the N-word on Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Days, kind of thing. But now it's a bit more tame, but still the same level of social interaction. So it's almost like you get sucked in because that's the way you kind of socialize.
That's funny.
They're like, "Yo, I'll pay you for your flight ticket, man. I'll pay for you to fly out." Like, geez.
Yeah, there's great clips there.
Oh, yeah. Get on them sticks in Madden. Get on them sticks.
Yeah, you had the same trash mics, so like you breathe the wrong way and you get lit up by the chat every time. You breathe the wrong way, they're like, "Hey, stop eating your mic, fucker."
Jesus. Wow.
And of course, I was like 12 or 13, so I had a high-pitched voice, just getting roasted. But it built character, at least.
Hey, Keegan, are you the dude that called in like the first time that I was on Tony's deal here, and you were talking about procrastinating and dealing with your guitar?
Yes.
Holy shit! You've done all of that since then.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember your voice. I was listening to your voice. I'm like, he sounds like that dude that was talking about the guitar. That's impressive, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's very impressive.
We got our second band practice tomorrow. We already got gigs lined up in October. It's gonna be wild.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah.
You got off shit. You got off. You got there. That's good. I'm proud of you, bro.
I appreciate that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see a success story. In other words, when you talked about that, and I believe that was the first time we had Paul on.
Yeah, I think that was the very first time because I remember him asking. That was right. We went long that time. It was toward the end, and he asked about that, and I was like, "Shit, just go do it. Just do it." So it sounds like you got off the pot and started getting after it. That's good, man.
One thing I would say that helped. One thing that always had a crippling thing about me was I always had to look for permission to do things.
Yeah.
And the minute I stopped looking for permission to do things, it was a process.
Yep.
What do you mean permission? What do you mean permission from who?
like I grew up in that dogmatic Christian life where I had to have permission to live my life nearly. I went to church all the time. You had to have permission from the pastor just to live your life. I'll never forget that. That was the most insanity I've ever dealt with. Last church I dealt with before I just broke away from it.
Which denomination was it?
They were non-denominational, of course, but they believed in Jesus. But they believed in running your life. Oh yeah, you gotta as you would say up there. I gotta receive the seed from your hand, and everything will be expanding your life. I'm like, I'm busy going broke, and you're doing really well. What the heck? Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good one. I'm busy going broke.
Literally, I'm busy wasting my time at church doing all this stuff. There was a point where I can't front. I do thank them. I stayed at the church, but it was work. When I lived in that church, I had to clean the church. It was nonstop. So thank God I'm done with that.
If another man asks me for my seed, I'm turning the fuck away, man.
Exactly.
Hey, man, what are you gonna do?
That's funny. I thought the same shit. I'm like, damn, was that trying to jack him off or something?
Yeah, exactly.
It gets even worse. Like I'll go do something and I'll get a phone call. Well, why didn't you call me? And I'm like, why should I call you? I was like, what?
That was sus.
That is correct. Especially when you got a dude asking you, why didn't you call me? What are you doing? Why didn't you call me? I need you here all the time. People going on vacation. I'm not going on vacation. What does this look like? It was a while. That was one day I'll get down on that story. It was a crazy story. But I had a problem living life, on my own terms. And that was a tough one for me, especially in my 30s. It was a breakaway. I got out of church and I was trying to figure out life for myself. Like, what do I do with me?
Yeah, but the thing is that, when somebody hears you say I left the church, that doesn't mean you left Christianity. It just means you left the church.
Yeah.
So
or that format or environment.
Yeah, church is not what it used to be. That's for sure.
No.
So
it's far from that, and it ain't coming back. There's a lot of things that we used to be that's not coming back. America might be one of those things we used to be that might not come back, but that's what I'm trying to do. I think that's what all of us are trying to do and trying to restore manhood again. Because if men don't come back, none of this shit's coming back. The church won't come back. Our country won't come back. Children won't come back. Women won't come back. Nothing will come back to the good old days. The shit's all gone unless men come back.
Oh, I was going to say, please God, don't be like me going to church and you got every single mother there eyeing you up. I'm like, what? It was wild. You see a whole truckload of children. Like, where's the fathers? What's going on here?
They're trying to get the Happy Meal money from you.
Exactly. Not even that. Yeah, they see it, and the brothers driving and struggling. They're sitting there trying to sell me wholesale. I'm like, nah, I'm good. literally trying to bribe me to stay. Oh, we got women in the church. I'm like, whoa, I'm trying to get myself right, dude. I'm not. No. Trying to get my soul right. You're always trying to sell me a mother and a truckload of kids. That ain't gonna work. Yeah, it's some wild stuff now.
Well, you hit that self-reflection that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to. I remember months and even a year ago, you'd be on streams or even backstage with us, and all of us were saying, hey, you can do it. You can do it, David. Because a lot of the stuff that you were going through and are still going through, we had a lot of us had been there before, and saying, hey, I did this, or just that encouragement from other men saying, hey, you can do it. You want these things, you can do it. And I'm so glad you are where you are, man. It's amazing transformation what you're going through.
You've also grown into your own where you don't let people disrespect you anymore.
Oh yeah,
that was a common thing. Like from the time you called into Kevin Samuels to some other streams that you've been on, other people talking about you, where you would kind of take the proverbial beating instead of like saying, hey man, stop this shit. I'm gonna be winning soon. I'm working on winning. So
Mm.
that's something I appreciate that you're doing.
Exactly.
That's the big thing that I tell a lot of guys. I've been saying on a lot of streams lately is, you know, if you don't like where you are in life, look at the feet that brought you there. If you don't like the life that you've built, look at the hands that built it. You know,
It's so easy. That's so easy, but it seems to be so hard for people to understand that. It is not hard to change your life. It's not hard to change. All you have to do is realize that it's fucked up, and then realize that you fucked it up, and you can fix it. I mean, and it might not all be your fault, but it's your life, so it kind of is your responsibility. And that's as simple. It's the simplest message, and it's shocking how many young men. I say young, I'm 52, so young is a lot of dudes. They just need to hear that. You say, it's okay. You fucked up, but you can change it. Just like the way you got here. All you got to do is pay attention to what you're doing. What do you want to do? Now, do the things that'll get you to that point. It's that simple, but no one tells them. It's so crazy. Or people tell them what they can and can't do, like your church did. And that's bullshit too.
I want to add another thing. Like, someone trying to control you will tell you that nothing's your fault. Because then, because if you feel like you're in a hole and you had no responsibility in it, you didn't dig yourself in there, you won't know how to climb out. Simple as that.
They can keep you stuck in there. They will keep you stuck in there by telling you there's nothing wrong with you. It's the women. It's your boss. It's those people. Not that you're a loser because you don't give a shit about yourself. You don't go to work on time. You don't. None of the things that are true. It's just, you know what? This person's weak. They need to hear this message. Let me keep them in that hole. It's not your fault. You need something to drink in there. That's the way it rolls. But once you realize that person, it is almost always your fault. I mean, it's your life. So if somebody does something to you, like physically to you, not cheated on you, that's not doing something to you at all. Because if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't have the feelings. But if they fucking stabbed you, they did something to you. So that concept of, it's this thing that happened to me. That didn't happen to you. That girl fucked that guy. You found out about it, got in your feelings. She didn't do shit to you. She did something to him. You didn't like it. Once you realize that all the shit you think someone did to you was your interpretation or what you decided it meant, that's what you did it to your fucking self. Because if they didn't aggress you, if they didn't do something to you, they didn't do shit to you. It's what you think about what they chose to do. And when you look at life, that's a reality. You don't have to accept it, but that's the truth. You don't own anyone. You don't own yourself. You get to rent that. You're renting this shit. So you get to go through your experiences. If somebody doesn't physically do it to you, what did they actually do? So once you get to that point, you can look at all the shit that you look at that's stacked against you, and you can realize I pulled all this on me. The only weight that is on me is the weight of me holding it. If I let it go, no, it doesn't fucking exist. That's the crazy part about dealing with the relationships. These dudes whine about the chicks that they chose that dogged them out, what she did to you. If she took half your money in a divorce, that's something to you. She did something to you. But if she just divorced your ass, she just left you alone. She severed your little agreement. She didn't do shit to you. Because if you hated her, you'd be so stoked she was gone. If you loved her, you'd be broken. If you were indifferent, you wouldn't give a fuck. So what did she actually do? And once you get that, you're responsible for everything that happens to you almost. You know what I'm saying? That's taking away a lot of shit. It takes away a lot of the responsibility for other people to fix you, but it also gives you all the power to turn it around in an instant. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, well, one thing you said earlier, you said change is easy, but I think the difficulty more is maintenance. Because a lot of people that are in holes, they know it's their fault. So let's say you're an alcoholic, you know that you're drinking yourself to death. But a lot of times, they don't have the eye on the prize, what they're building towards, and the work it takes to, like the work it takes to get out of that hole often doesn't like the pros of getting out of the hole don't outweigh the cons of the pain it takes to climb out.
Yes,
So like
because
what are some like motivation techniques, like kind of keeping the eye on the prize for
I
someone
think
trying to make a change in their life?
you have to see that's the key. When you know your alcoholic's a perfect deal, why are you drinking? That's the whole thing, man. Like, why are you in this fucking hole? Because I drink. Roger that. Why are you drinking? What are you escaping from? What are you running from? You know what I mean? Alcoholics, those people are generally have shit that's so deeply rooted in their history, their past. Usually early makings, their early pit of their onion is so broken and screwed up, and they end up drinking. And that drinking is an escape. It's a drug, and it's an escape. Now they can say, "Oh my God, I got to quit drinking," and they can quit drinking for a while. But you didn't pull the root out. You still have the thing inside of you that caused you to have to drink in the first place, or do the drug, or do whatever it is. Everything that people do, sex, whatever it is, there's a reason that you do it. The why that you do it is the motive. That's the huge, just like when you want to do something positive. Why do you want to do that? The why is fucking huge in everything. So when you're to keep your eye on the prize, I think it's simple. You have to keep your eye on what the damage is that you're doing to yourself. That can never that to me, it can never leave the front of your brain. Whatever your thing is. I mean, I could call it a vice, but I don't know if that's a proper term. Whatever that thing is that you're trying to change, it existed for a reason. Like for me, I had to get over my mother. My mom, the way that I interpreted my mom loving me when I was a kid, that shit translated into my early relationships and the relationship that led me to the manosphere in the first place. And that shit sucked. It sucked. But I kept going through these relationships with these different women that were the same woman that was a piece of shit, but I wouldn't let them go. I couldn't let them go. It was weird. It was almost like an addiction. Addiction might not even be a good enough word. It was an obsession. And I didn't know what the fuck my problem was, because I don't move that way. I don't allow women to fuck with me that way. I just don't. But I did. And when I did, there was nothing I could do about it until it finally broke. And when I went through the last shit, I had to figure out why this kept happening. I figured out that they were all the same person. They just changed the mask that they wore. But I was the common denominator. So I had to figure out what the fuck, why do I keep bringing these demons into my life and begging them to tear my soul out? And I realized that I was trying to fix my mother. My mom used to make us feel that same way. Well, make me. I don't know how my brother and sister felt, but I felt the same way waiting for my mom to come home from her drinking and whoring binges that she went on when I was a kid. I was the oldest of 4 kids, so I was watching my brother and sister while she was gone for a whole weekend. And as an 8-year-old kid, that does something fucked up to your soul, where you're waiting days for your mom to come home, and that's all you want is for her to come home. And then you see all the shit she goes through because of the decisions, and you want that to go away. Your mother as a boy is your first love. And seeing that shit, if it did something to me. And I thought growing up that it made me hard and callous. It made me very weak. It made me susceptible to the shit that I caved into. And so I kept realizing, I knew all the time, I got to quit fucking with these dusty hoes like this. These bitches, I need a good girl. And I would go back and forth. I was always drawn to the beautiful fucking psychopath, though. And it was just crazy. I didn't know what it was. And it was me. I was trying to fix my mother in dealing with these women. I was trying to fix that woman who left us as children in these fucking broken women. And once I got that, once I understood why, there was no keeping an eye on the prize. All there was keeping the enemy out, the outside of the fucking gate, because there was no longer a need for that. I addressed that. I did whatever I needed to do to heal from that. That's when I made my program. And I just did that shit. I immersed myself in correcting and trying to reparent that kid that was waiting for his mother. And I went back and basically tried to change the past. And in doing that and dealing with that broken kid, it changed the way I thought today as a man when I went through that process. So when you understand why you're doing shit and then can lay out the steps of how you correct it, you don't really have to keep your eye on the prize, because that just becomes your way of life.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to follow up on that. It sounds like that's a pretty late stage of healing for someone to have that self-awareness that will kind of prevent them from falling back in the pit. I'm talking about someone who is in the shit and maybe needs something to run away from and something to run towards the goal. And then along that, and that will kind of motivate them to figure out, okay, like you said, you figured out, hey, I'm the common denominator. All these women are psychos. What am I doing that's wrong? So that's the kind of area that I think is the challenge.
Well, I think if you're in the shit, that's simple. All you have to do is you identify where you want to be. And this is like the guys that are going through my program, it's 90 days and it sucks. Most of them probably won't even come close to making it, because you realize how much you lie. If let's say you're an alcoholic, you in terrible shape. You don't even need to peel the onion to figure out why you're doing it. You don't want to drink anymore. You want to get in better shape. All you got to do is find a fucking thing that you will do. Maybe you don't want to lift weights. Maybe you're out of shape completely. You need to run or walk, whatever it is, minimal activity. You replace the negative activity with the one that you want to do, and you just simply start taking steps to get to the place you want to be. And if you look where you want to go, it's like driving a car. If you're in a car wreck, you don't look where you don't want to crash. You know what I mean? Like if you're going through the shit, you look where you want to go. You don't look at the wreck that's going on next to you. You look where you want to go, because you're going to steer where your eyes go. That's the same way about life. Wherever your focus is, if you're focused on getting that drink, getting that girl, getting that drug, getting that whatever, porn, whatever, if it's just to get there, then, and that's what you look at, it's like the good wolf and the bad wolf. You know you got a bad wolf, create a good wolf. Which one are you going to feed? And which one are you going to feed? And that comes down just to discipline. And you got to have self-discipline. That's the biggest thing. If you can self-discipline yourself, everything's fucking easy. It'll still be hard, but it's easy, because it doesn't matter how you feel or any of that shit. This is what has to be done, and you just do it. You just do it. Your feelings don't get a vote. They don't get to talk. It's just this is what I don't want to do. This is what I do want to do. And this is the wolf that I feed.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of like leaning more towards getting the answer from you on, because I think that's a common thing along a lot of spiritual people and religions or whatever. Kind of, whether if you're in the occult world, they'll make a sigil that keeps their mind on what they're trying to achieve. If you're a Christian or a Buddhist, you pray. So that idea of what you want to build towards is always in your mind, and you're subconsciously thinking of like, what steps do I need to take to get there? While also thinking like, where do I not want to be? What steps do I need to do to avoid that?
Right. Yep. That's it. And it's that simple and that hard at the same time, because that shit's not easy to do. It's easy to put it on paper and go, yeah, that's what I need to do. But when you make it a disciplinary practice, for a while it sucks, man. It's hard. It's hard until it becomes easy, and then it becomes natural.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a little pride that you have to get through, because some people might think it's corny, like laying out what you want to do or saying it out there.
Oh, I used to think that shit was corny. My wife used to tell me all the time, you need to put a imagination board up and put a picture of what you are. I'm like, man, you crazy. I'm not doing the Anthony Robbins shit. I know what I want, but there's power to it. It's corny. It feels that's very true.
Well, I see that with like the athletes and the martial artists that they'll sit and meditate and like yell out, "I am a champion."
Yeah,
I am an athlete. Corny. I'm a scholar. That kind of thing. It looks corny, but it keeps their mind on the task. So
but you know what? I think this, man. I think when you write something down, I was telling one of the guys that trains with us. We're all going through this program together. So we're in the first couple of days of laying out our shit, trying to figure out where we're lying to ourselves. And that's the thing, he thought he was ready to go. He got the book, he read it real quick, and he was like, man, what day are you on? And I told him, bro, you ain't ready to do shit. This is 2 weeks of you peeling back your bullshit. You're on day one. You're still full of shit. Get a piece of paper and write this shit down. He's like, I don't really like doing it. I said, I hate doing it. I hate doing it. Write it in the book. The book is empty for this. It's a workbook. I said, write it in the book in pencil, because you're gonna have to erase a bunch of stuff. But this is the deal. When you write shit down, it changes it from when you think it. You can think it, and that's one thing. But when you write it down, you just took an action towards your thoughts. You wrote it down and said, this is the thing that I want. This is the thing I'm going to do. Now there's proof. You can think it, no one knows your thoughts, but you wrote it down, and if nothing else, you fucking lied, because you didn't do that shit. You didn't change anything. So writing the shit down gives it power. It changes it from it being a thought. Now, here's the other thing. When you write it down and tell someone, this is what I'm going to do, that's corny too. Because then you run the risk of people going, man, this shit ain't going to work. You're not going to do that. And reach, you're going to run into their judgment. So that changed it too, because not only did you give it power from your thoughts to paper, now you got an audience standing there looking at you going, go bitch, let's see what you do, that shit you were talking about. Now you gave it power and you gave it legs, and people are watching you. You're going to make it move or not? A lot of people are afraid to do any of that, because now you're accountable. You told these people you're going to build this business and you didn't do shit. And they're going to give you shit for it. So I think it's corny, but I think the corniness, I think we say that way, we feel that way, because somewhere inside we're scared of that shit. We might be scared of it. There might be a little fear in there.
Yeah, I say that because like I kind of dug into the like getting things on like your mind, and like saying things that you want to achieve, but in like a present tense as if you achieved them. Mm-hmm. So you're like, I got to hold myself accountable. I got to make it happen. Yeah. But thinking about it that way kind of just feels corny at first, but you just got to push your pride aside, I guess, and
it's just ego. It's ego. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen so many self-help, and hey, you know what? If you can see it, think it, believe it, you can achieve. You've heard all the secret bullshit, and it's corny. It sounds corny, but a lot of successful people say to do it, and it's got, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of successful people talk about doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's in every culture too. That kind of thing. It's in Christianity through prayer. It's in all the Abrahamic religions through prayer. It's in the occult and that kind of stuff through sigils and the chaos, quote unquote, stuff that they do. It's in probably in some tribal groups. You see it common with martial arts.
See, I think it's universal law.
Yeah.
I think it's universal law that humans have struggled to articulate. This is how you bend universal law in your benefit. You say this, and then you do this. And if you march in that direction, the universe will open the doors. That seems to make sense.
Well, you're also looking. You're also looking for that. That's another piece of it.
You're looking for it, and you're looking for the wolf that you're feeding. You know what I mean? You're not looking to feed the bad wolf. You're trying to feed the one that you want to protect you, the good wolf. And so when you do that, when you lay it out, you identify it, and you put down steps, you are marching towards a goal. You are going in a direction. You've got a target. You're not scattered all over the place. And I think there's I think it is almost, it's a supernatural, whatever powers we have, it's tied in that shit. Because if you do that stuff, you've seen too many people come from nothing and become something. You know what I mean? Come from, even where Deke was coming from, come from being insecure and unsure to 2 bands and concerts and all. I mean, shit. What happened is a flip of a switch. It was a flip of a narrative, an identified target, and then a march toward it. Shit. Pretty simple.
I know that's Muhammad just jumped on. Muhammad, good to have you here. I've got
likewise, everybody.
I just noticed when I saw Muhammad, I'm going to put up a shield, and his name is Chris. Chris, I'd always appreciate if you had a camera on. Just makes it easier for the whole stream. Chris, do you have a camera? I see you backstage right now. I don't know if you got a question or something, but I'm going to put up a shield real quick, and I'm going to bring you on. So if you got a question for Paul or anybody. Chris?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can.
Hey, so I was listening earlier, and that one individual had called in, and they were talking about wanting to change their gender, and I think I heard someone laughing in the background, and I'm just confused as to why that would be funny.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was the guy who trolled earlier.
I mean, me personally, I have a big fat pussy myself.
Imagine waiting all that time to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's kind of reminding me of the if you watch 22 Jump Street, Rob Riggle's character. He's like, oh, they gave me a pussy. Kind of thing.
You know, and the funny thing is that he's been back there for probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, and he said, "What's up?" Like he said, "What's up?" back when I asked him, "What's up?"
Yeah. So
that dude, he stayed online just to do that.
Yeah.
That dude's a virgin.
That dude's a virgin. Whether he's a virgin or not, he's at least a super fan.
That's Tony's trolls.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's the trolls, man.
On my channel or 21 or my other channel.
When he said, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You don't think that's hilarious? Somebody wanted to change their gender? How is that not funny?"
Yeah, I guess it was the other troll we had. I maybe it was the same one. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, let's start wrapping it up. I want to go to Muhammad first, real quick, because he's new here. But Muhammad, you got any words for us tonight?
No. Thank you very much for having me. I joined in quite late, so I don't know what was the context, but happy to be here amongst the company of all the good folks. So thank you for having me, guys. Okay. It's always great to be among friends and good people.
Yeah. We always enjoy having you on. Maybe next time just come on a little earlier.
Oh yeah, man.
You're on the other side of the world.
Oh, so. He's a backstage addict.
I come in late so that I can head off to backstage fun. I'm just kidding. No, I was doing the runs for work and stuff, man. It was just I was trying to get here and I just couldn't get here in time.
Oh, we get it. You're a licensed physician, man.
Yes.
Anybody else before we head out? Then we'll go to Paul for some final words. Metron, Deacon, Uncle Guns, vital message. Anybody? Go for it.
I think I've spoken enough tonight.
No.
Well, you're always a great host, man, and you're a great host.
Well, awesome, I felt like I usually interview people. I usually ask a question, listen, but tonight I decided to kind of inject some of my philosophy and ask some questions. I appreciate Tony and 21 for putting my channel link in the description of this video. Yep. And keep checking out Tony. Keep checking out these Thursday night streams or Sunday night streams whenever he has them. He's a great host, great listener, brings on some good people, and I'm sure he's got a lot of great things in the works. And Paul, great chatting with you.
Likewise,
It's
brother.
good to have someone to bounce ideas off of.
Likewise, I like talking to you, man. This is a good space. I like the people that are in this space.
Yeah, and you're welcome on my channel as well.
Good stuff, man.
Absolutely. I think the Vital Message should definitely have the War Room on there for sure one evening.
Oh man.
Hey, the one thing I want to say, I'm going to make a video about this and make it be known. I had no fucking idea. Stop it, shithead. But trying to eat my headphones. I didn't know that Andrew Tate's shit was called the War Room, and I had a lot of people hit me up and say, "Hey, man, every time I look for your channel, all I find is this dude Andrew Tate stuff." Well, my gym is called the Gladiator Farm, and the book that I wrote was basically under the Gladiator Farm. It was written for veterans, and so I'm gonna probably end up changing my channel to the Gladiator Farm just to dissociate myself from. I mean, Tate's already got that, not to try to dissociate myself from him, but that's already his shit. You know what I mean? And if people are finding his instead of mine, most likely need to fix that. But I'll put a marker out before we do that.
There was a comment that I think somebody probably was on 21 Studios when I put this stream up. He said, "Well, where's Tate tonight?" So
yeah, one of the guys that came from Elliot's that subscribed like last week, pretty cool sounding, timid little kid. He's like, he suggested that. He's like, you should change your channel to the Gladiator Farm. That sounds. He probably doesn't even know what that means.
Yeah,
but
your brand is way different from Andrew's brand.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely different. While I like Andrew, I'm not trying to piggyback or be buddies or none of that shit with what we're doing. We are definitely different, and
exactly.
I don't want people conflating the two. I'm sure he doesn't either. So I'll fix that for both of us.
Okay. Anybody else on the panel before we go?
Hey, Paul, do you think that Andrew can beat Jake Paul?
Hey, you know what? Nope, I don't. Nah. I think Jake Paul put his ass to sleep.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He thinks that Andrew Tate thinks that his head movement's the shit, and he can fight. I mean, Andrew can fight.
Oh yeah.
But boxing and the idea that guard up doesn't work. That's fucking retarded. Tell Canelo Alvarez that shit don't work. Tell Mike.
Don't they know different martial arts too? Like,
stupid. Yeah, he's a kickboxer.
Yeah, versus a traditional boxer.
Those weapons to two, it's different. Like I do Muay Thai. I don't like fucking boxing. When I box boxers, they frustrate the shit out of me. I want to kick you in the face. You're taking 6 of my weapons away. When you look at those two dudes fighting, Jake Paul is a boxer, and the kids obsessed with being a boxer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's probably fresher with his training than Andrew too.
And he's going to be
his branding is focused on the boxing, while Andrew's focused on the money building,
Bugattis and money and bitches.
Yeah,
I think Jake Paul would knock Andrew Tate out.
I think they both would make a lot of money.
They would make a lot. Maybe, because I don't know if they'd make a lot of money. I think people are tired of watching Jake Paul's fights. They canceled the Rockman fight. They're talking about all that weight shit. They didn't sell enough tickets.
Yeah.
Well, also like the earlier Jake Paul fights, they looked kind of staged, like a guy took a dive for cash.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you fight dudes that don't know how to fight at all. Like that KSI dude had no fucking idea what was going on. Then the basketball player, the
basketball player. I think they got knocked out, but the former MMA guy, what was it, Ben
Askren?
Oh, Ben Askren.
Ben Askren.
He can't box. He
can't.
Cannot box.
It looked like he kind of like did a break fall and barely got touched.
And he may have, which was brilliant on his side. But
yeah, because they both got paid.
Yes. The difference is this though: the Jake Paul who fought Ben Askren and the Jake Paul who knocked Tyron Woodley out are two different animals. Yeah, I don't like Jake Paul, dude.
Yeah, like I think he's skilled and strong. Like he has that wrestling background, and then he has the boxing background.
He's a fucking athlete. Those kids, like I do.
The Paul brothers, good God.
Yes, that's my job. My job is to build and identify athletes. I don't want to like those kids. I don't. But when I watch Jake Paul's, I watch his progression. That kid can fucking hit. He knocked Woodley's ass out for real.
Yeah.
Now, I think he'll put him to sleep. I think Jake Paul shuts Andrew Tate up about whooping ass.
Yeah.
I would love to see them fight and go the whole distance, and then both of them at like at the end of Rocky 3, where they both do that overhand. I would love to see the fight getting like that. Both of them spam and both of them
straight slugfest.
Awesome.
Like little war.
Yeah. Both of them go to sleep at the last round.
Yeah.
Let's hope that fight happens, because it's very rare I pay for a fight anymore. That one I would pay for.
I would try to go to that fight. I would try to go to that fight just because who's in the fight. And if we could get some Manosphere dudes to go to that would be a fun fucking
fight. Have Tate hook us all up. We could be in his corner.
So he's got plenty of money. Shit,
we'll go. Corner man.
We at the corner.
We'll corner him and be cheering for Jake. Come on, Paul. Come on, Tate.
Tate, you're gonna have to take. Tate, we're at the 10th round. You may have to take this dive, bro.
Yeah,
he's coming for you.
Like, hey, man, you got the bag already, dude. You know how to break fall, right?
I'll throw the towel in for you, dude.
Oh man.
And I was gonna say, one last thing. I was gonna say, Logan Paul in wrestling. Good God, these like when I watched SummerSlam, this kid was wrestling like he was wrestling for 30 years in that business.
I think they were both high school like state competitors in Ohio.
They're still
like they were legit wrestling competitors, and that's a really applicable like art, like in just knowing how to fight. Wrestling.
Wrestling's tough.
Oh yeah, look at Kurt Angle, man. Jeez.
Yeah,
because like getting a pin like it's so quick when they get the pins, and how to prevent you from getting them.
Wait, are we talking real wrestling or
real wrestling, not WWE?
I mean, WWE, they still take abuse, though. That's 365
Well, I'm just
days.
saying, like, right when you get someone on their back, like, that's pin, and the game's over. That kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta fight. You gotta fight like hell to make sure no one gets you on your back.
Yeah, I had to verify that because I was a wrestler in high school, and like,
that shit's extremely hard, man.
Yeah.
Those dudes are strong.
Look at Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle. Good God. Especially Angle now. I mean, he's in good shape, but he's just so beat down. Like his knees, he's got a lot of issues right now with all the painkillers he took. But you know how that is.
Yeah, they just dive at your legs and shit.
Oh,
right at your
God.
knees.
Single leg takedowns. God, German suplexes. Good God.
So now we're talking fake wrestling, right?
No, you can do a German suplex in real wrestling. Roman Greco.
You guys are going back and forth here. You're losing me because I don't remember doing a suplex in high school.
I don't think you do a suplex in that.
No,
you
just
gotta
paralyze somebody in real wrestling.
You just attack. They just attack those guys just right at your knees and shit.
Yeah,
I prefer Japanese wrestling. So,
oh man, strong style. Good God.
No, judo.
Oh, actual judo. Yeah. There we go. Sambo too is pretty good.
Yeah, but at least like they give you leeway, so you do some groundwork instead of like on your back, you're pinned and it's over.
Speaking of judo, real quick, something I wanted to discuss on Tony's channel that we lost the Godfather.
Well, in judo, you have to pin somebody for 30 seconds. So.
Yeah. Was it 20 seconds or 30?
Yeah, realistically, it's 20 seconds, but it really takes you like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and they have to have you past like half pin or something like that. You got to
be on your back flat. And
yeah.
In fact, I think I showed you a video of me pinning somebody. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of different moves too. Like,
yeah, it's a long time. That's the longest 20, 30 seconds of your life.
Yeah, no, just like a 3-minute round of like randori is just exhausting, man.
That's 5 minutes. 3 or 5 minute matches are incredibly long. A lot longer than if you haven't done it. It is incredibly long.
No, I did four 3-minute matches right in a row in randori. I was dead when I was done.
Yeah. Well, when you have a clock there and you're looking at it and you look over and only like 45 seconds is gone.
That's why you don't look at the clock, man.
Yeah. Just pay no attention to it. So
exactly
3 to 5 minutes, we're literally feel like a half hour sometimes.
An eternity.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Anybody watching, especially from 21, my channel, hey, come to the 21 convention. Meet Paul from the War Room, which will soon be the Gladiator Farm. But yeah, come and meet guys in real life, man. That's what it's all about. These conversations are great online, but you know, sometimes you got to get out in the real world and meet people, shake hands, have dinner, have lunch, have drinks, have a good time. That's what it's all about. So I encourage everybody, whether you go to 21 convention or just get out in the real world, man. Get out from behind the computer. You know, I know pretty much everybody on this panel right here is doing things. This is kind of like a pastime for me. It's better than watching, you know, a 60-inch flat screen in front of me. So you get to have these conversations and talk with different people. So, but Paul, I do appreciate you coming on tonight. Always a great time. And probably we'll have you on one time before. I know we want to have a collab with Elliot Hulse. So Elliot told me he wants to collab with us, and we'll do that soon as we can figure it out. So
Right on.
I do have a couple of things planned. I do have actually spoke with through chat Jeremy Stafford, and Jeremy is we'll just say he's in one of the larger police departments in California, and he is the handgun editor for Guns and Ammo magazine. I think I'm getting that right. So I had Jeremy on, I think it was over a year ago, but I talked to him tonight, and he's going to come back on. Plus, I have some other guests lined up. Hopefully, Sir Yeetus coming on, which will be a fun one for sure. But yeah, always keeping things fresh.
He told me he was going to email you, so he's going to be held accountable.
Yep, he will. So I think that'll be a fun one for sure. So, but again, Paul, I want to thank you for coming on. And if you guys want to hang backstage for a little bit, and if anybody else is in the chat, you want to come and chat with us backstage for a little bit, feel free to jump on. I'm gonna play us out here with what do we got here? We always got to play something out, and we'll end this stream. Thanks everybody for coming on and checking out my channel, and thanks from 21 Studios for sure. You guys take care. Have a good evening.
Have a good one, guys.